Downtown, I got that heat, let's go.
Yo. What up, what up, what up, what up? All right, sound is good. We're working. What up, Bryant?
What's going on, man?
What's happening, Brad?
Another day, another dollar, man.
I see Ashay just made it in. What up, Ashay?
What up?
Woody. Good to have you guys. Thanks for stopping by and chilling with us, man.
Absolutely.
Good people of the SMT Nation also in the live chat. The SMT Nation's in full effect, bruh. Got Max Tech Studios first in line. Salute to you, sir. And appreciate you for supporting the channel as a member. Hashtag members. That's the member squad. We got Michael West. What up, Mike? It's my dude, Mike. Been riding with me forever, bro. One of the OGs of the game. Jeremy is here. The homie Baby Yoda Tech, also part of the mod squad. Hashtag mod squad. Hashtag members. Hashtag 2Live Crew to everybody out there. Raging Dusty, also a member. Appreciate you, man. Salute to you. Logan is here. Oh, snap. Big Derek's in the house. Archie Mobile is here. Another member. Mark, what up, my friend? Joe is here. RF Waves is in the house.
Oh shoot!
RF Mobile hanging out with us. We got Big Joe, also a member. Man, the members representing tonight. Appreciate you guys. S Blue Tech, my brother Santiago's in the house. Yeah, we'll talk about the plans today for sure. Absolutely. What up, Noel? What's going on, man? Yeah, we'll be talking about it, bro, for real. Sam is also here. Appreciate you, Sam. All right, man. We go ahead and just kill the music for now. We got to get down to business.
So much to discuss today, gentlemen. So much to discuss. I am ready.
I know you are, man. T-Mobile did a thing today, and AT&T also did a thing today. Too early to call if the T-Mobile thing is good or not. We'll see. So whenever companies launch new plans and new services and rearrange things and change names, you don't know, I guess, if it resonates with the customer until, a quarter or two or a year down the line, right? To see if something was effective, something big scale or whatever. I mean, sometimes right away. You can kind of like get the vibes and people are excited about it and they're lining up to buy it. But then if there's no demand for it, it's like, well, what did you accomplish? Then, if it ain't a smash, do you call it a success? So we're going to talk about some of those things. Like, you know what I'm saying, Bryant? Like we'll look at it as the way things are constructed with it, what it means to the market, who's going to be interested in it, who it's for, the new plans, the trade-in, the unlock of the phone. We'll cover all the details. AT&T announced Q1 earnings, and Wall Street just absolutely chewed them up and spit them out. The last I checked, the AT&T ticker was down 10 or 11%. I don't know where it is now. I haven't looked, but it fell precipitously 10+% when I checked, and that was like in the afternoon. So
all we got to make sure is the stock isn't below zero.
So
all we care about is the dividend. That's all.
So I just want to comment on that and say, oh my God, the stock market gets on my nerves. Like Sneed, in my personal opinion.
No, your opinion is warranted. Let it rip, man. Go ahead.
AT&T had a very solid quarter. They grew. Their revenue was solid. They grew on multiple sides of the business. They announced a plan to be able to reduce costs and take cost
Mhm.
out of the business.
Mhm.
What else? I'm having a hard time really understanding what the market, what the street wants from the telecom industry. Because you
That
have a
is
company,
that is a
you
great
have a
question.
yeah, you have a company like AT&T, which pretty much, given where we are economically as a country, they hit on almost all the marks. So
Yeah.
they didn't hit on free cash flow, which is understandable because they
Mhm.
are spending a good amount of money to get the customers that they're getting on the wireless side of their business. But they reward growth. The market rewards AT&T for growing and having crappy free cash flow. But AT&T does similar results with a better free cash flow than T-Mobile's been able to do in years, and they lose 11%. Like, what does the street want from the telecom industry? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense at all,
I
and it's
have
why it's
I
hard to
have a
take the street
hypothesis.
seriously.
I have a hypothesis on this. I mean, obviously, I can't prove it, but I have like inclinations that I think are at play, right? I think I know some of the factors, and I agree. The street has it wrong, but the street having it wrong doesn't change the outcome, right? The stock itself nosedived. What up, Los?
Yeah, what up, man?
Can we get you to pop out and pop back in? Got a little static.
What?
Okay.
I mean,
All
look
right.
at that, man.
Let's start here.
424,000 postpaid at net ad change. I mean,
Yeah, let's talk about this. So here's the thing. AT&T actually had a really good quarter. Bryant is absolutely correct.
How's it
Plus
now?
424,000 on the postpaid phone net ads. That's probably going to be number 2 because I think T-Mobile's going to be probably somewhere closer to 500 some odd thousand. We all know that AT&T doesn't give out free lines. We know that T-Mobile does. So the AT&T net phone ads are different than the T-Mobile ones. Let's just call a spade, right? We know that the AT&T ads are organic and paying customers through and through. No free lines. Wireless services revenue was at $15.5 billion. That's up 5.2% compared to Q1 of last year. Postpaid phone ARPU is up 2% to $55.05. Okay, so far all we see is good, right? We can all agree that all sounds terrific. People are accepting higher rate plans. They're choosing the premium. They're choosing the middle plan more than they're taking the entry level plan. In prepaid, after minus 9,000 last quarter, they are now up 40,000 on net ads in prepaid. So they even grew there with respect to prepaid. That sounds to me like Cricket's doing all right. AT&T reported FirstNet connections have now exceeded 4.7 million. All right, so they're growing there, and those are high value customers. Those are full paid plans, right? The average cost that I think of I think the average cost is what, $40-$45 a share.
Yeah, but you got to remember they're also giving the $25 discount for all the lines.
On FirstNet?
Yeah, 25. So that means if you have on AT&T, so if you have a FirstNet line and then you have a regular consumer account, the whole consumer account gets 25% right off the bat.
And their ARPU is still $55.
Yep.
Wow, that's incredible. Postpaid phone churn was excellent, 0.81%. Year over year, it's almost flat. That's incredible. At a time where you could really lose customers due to economics, and you're hanging on to them.
It's the new and existing customers get the same promotion.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second here. Prepaid churn at 2.73%. That is absolutely legendary. Cricket churn, even better. That is a place where people go and stay. For a prepaid brand, that's incredible. Brian, you brought up the cost savings. They're doing it. They've caught up to $6 billion now, and they're trying to get to that target by the end of the year. They said they're on track to hit it, so they're probably around $5 billion or something. They've been working on this for a couple of years.
They still need to cut costs down. I don't know if you know this, but there's actually a rep.
Laying off a lot of people.
There's actually a rep that goes to every AT&T store just to look at the AT&T Direct TV, and he has his own car, and he just goes around store by store once a week.
So you're saying that
you don't need them people
that doesn't need to exist?
Yes, they need.
Well, trust me, they're looking at that. They are absolutely leaning out. They're probably going to lay off another 10,000 before the next earnings.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got going on here. That's probably it. I mean, there was a lot of stuff. I listened to the webcast from John Stanky and Pascal DeRoche earlier this morning. I heard a lot of good things. There is only one thing that came up negative, and it was free cash flow. It was projected or predicted to be like $3 billion, and they came in at $1 billion. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Bryant. You know how at the beginning, or no, it was at the end of Q4 earnings. So back in January, they said that they were guiding $16 billion in free cash flow for the year. Do you know what they're now guiding for free cash flow for the year?
Less than that.
No, they're guiding 16 billion. They literally are telling us they're going to get the other 15 billion the rest of the year. So they're projecting. They told the street that they were going to do 1 billion this quarter. The street was the analysts were the ones trying to predict 3 billion. AT&T didn't predict 3 billion. AT&T is staying true to their projection, and they're saying we're going 16 billion this year. So that means, and I'm dead serious about this, if the capitulation and the selling of AT&T shares today was because of free cash flow, buy the dip, because they're about to accelerate their free cash flow the rest of the year.
Yeah,
the AT&T stock went down 10% today, 11%.
What's the incentive, to be honest? Because Stanky's not the only CEO in the telecom industry who's been honest about that. Hans was honest last year when he said, hey, we're going to have a bad second and third quarter. That's what happened. He told them before it happened, hey, this is probably what's coming down the pipe.
And there is capitulation.
What's the incentive? You might as well just lie, because, I mean, you don't get any reward for telling the truth. I don't understand. AT&T had, by all accounts, a very good quarter. What are they being penalized for? Free cash flow? Meanwhile, the guys in pink haven't had $1 billion in free cash flow in what quarter?
Hold on, Steve. Hey, we got an announcement, bro. So I just saw this. Verizon's going to be doing a carrier movement on the 15th. So be on the lookout on the 15th. They're doing an announcement.
I hope it's something good. It'd be great. It's a very weird time, guys. Very weird time.
What do you guys think it's going to be?
Plans, bro. Plans.
Who knows? Probably something with the plans, yeah. Probably, I guess.
I heard plans, bro. I'm trying to get info right now.
But here's what today, I don't want to pivot the conversation before Sneed's ready, but I don't know what Verizon is doing that AT&T isn't, or vice versa, because now everybody's got an $85 or a $90 plan. Specifically with T-Mobile and Verizon, they both have a $90 plan now.
Ooh,
so is the problem really price? No. If it was, AT&T wouldn't be growing the way that it's not about price. It's something else.
Okay,
and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so this is like an onion. You got to peel one layer at a time. Okay, so the one thing that AT&T does better than Verizon are discounts. The AARP 100%. Discount, the bundling with the home internet service. Well, now with like Verizon kind of
teacher discount, 25% off.
Well, they offer it with Verizon too, but it's a lower percentage. It's like 10%. Right? That's why I'm saying like the discounts at Verizon are not as attractive as AT&T. And now that Verizon is finally doing fixed wireless access, they're in play for that bundle discount. So that's why like there's some things at Verizon that have gotten better that they've been able to do because they've offered new services. That's Brian, these are the conversations you and me have had. We know that the growth at Verizon is going to be built upon additional revenue streams, new use cases for the consumer and the business consumer, right?
Agreed.
Yeah. So like it's working where Verizon brings new services, new connectivity options, they take share. And they take share on let's call it at a price that they can live with, right? At a premium that they can live with, because Verizon doesn't work for free. No company works for free, right? But the one thing that I think we have to pay very close attention to is Verizon's willingness to engage, right? That's what we're seeing right now. Carlos brought up the point that there's going to be a carrier event or a carrier announcement. Let me tell you why this is huge, and I'm going to talk about it later in another video. Verizon is smart to embrace the bad guy role. I'm being dead serious.
I agree.
There can only be one white knight. There's always going to be a bad guy that emerges. I think Verizon should embrace the bully, bad guy, evil Thanos role. Just be that. Be the big bad monster that everybody's afraid of. Let T-Mobile roll with their whole white knight. We're here to save the day. We got our cape on and our thongs. We're going to save you from the shackles of everybody else. Let them pull that narrative. Then what you do as Verizon is embrace the bully role and say, you say you're Uncarrier. Well, we've done all those things already, and we've been doing them. You haven't innovated anything, which is true. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about the Uncarrier event today. There was absolutely nothing Uncarrier about it.
Nope.
There was not a single thing Uncarrier about it. And, I don't really care what the thongs have to say about it. If they can't accept truth, that's their problem.
Yep.
I'm here to call a spade and present competent and deep dive analysis into their ambitions. What are the carriers doing? What are their goals with each of these plans and offers? I can tell you right now, creating a 2-year installment plan is not new.
Nope.
Paying off a carrier is not new. Like, all those things are not new. So we're going to cover all that. I just wanted to cover the AT&T story and to kind of put a bow on it. AT&T is the competitive version of T-Mobile, or excuse me, the profitable version of T-Mobile.
Yep.
Right? They grow and they have margins.
Yep.
Right? T-Mobile grows but doesn't have margins.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So to me, I think what AT&T does is more impressive than what T-Mobile does with respect to corporate operations. What I like about T-Mobile is their willingness to compete fiercely for customers. I think they're the best at that. I think they have the best marketing. I think they hit when it comes to all of that stuff. I think their branding is the best. It gets the young consumer, the new consumer. It's competitive for switchers. They got the home internet. There are so many things that T-Mobile does well that puts them at play for switching customers, and they convert and they win. I get it. But I think AT&T gets ragdolled as a company for old mistakes from like Randall Stevenson, who has been gone for years. But like, people can't get past like the debt, right? The debt amount, and they're paying down the debt. Like, it's been dropping, and they divested media. Like, they did everything everybody wanted them to, and they're still getting slaughtered on their ticker price.
Frustrated. If I was Stanky right now, I would be beyond frustrated.
You know what he's saying, Brian? He's saying, what else do I need to do?
Yep. And to be honest with you, I think Hans is probably asking the same questions because they're not far off. The only difference between AT&T and Verizon is that Verizon is more willing to protect that margin than AT&T is right now. AT&T has to give up some margin
with the promotions. That's true.
Yep, and it's because they've had to. They divested. They cut their dividend for the first time in a quarter century. They had no choice but to be aggressive in that space. Verizon didn't make that mistake. They haven't cut their dividends in 16 years and counting. So they have to protect their margin. That's the best thing about owning them as a company right now, if you're a shareholder.
But we also have to remember AT&T dividend and Verizon dividend are two different. AT&T's so much better dividend, even though they cut in half.
That's not true anymore. That's not true anymore.
Why is the AT&T dividend better?
I thought it was higher.
AT&T dividends is trash.
No. Verizon has the best industry dividend. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been cut. So I just, like I said,
that's the reason why the shares have gone down, because they cut the dividend when they did the whole HBO Max.
That was one dip, right? That created one dip.
and the thing is, all the shareholders are old people. They got AT&T. It's in their 401k. All they care about is that dividend, and you cut it in half.
Well, they had no choice. They made a mistake. Part of what good leadership does is identify mistakes as quickly as possible based on data. And then from there, they atone for that mistake as quickly as they can. And so, to Stanky's credit, that's what they did. Just like Sneed's right. AT&T has done everything the street has asked them to do, and they're not being rewarded for it. So if I'm looking at Verizon if I'm Hans, I'm looking at this, Why would I sacrifice margins? Why would I, for example, like some, people who follow Sneed, why would I cut the dividend and lower prices for customers? Why would I do that? For what? Is that going to get me anything?
So here's what they told, and thank you, Alex, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Said AT&T needs to fix their billing systems. Absolutely true. They still have issues with that. Absolutely. Now here's what I want to mention. Right.
Oh my goodness.
I've described AT&T as being a profitable version of T-Mobile, and here's why. T-Mobile grows, and their margins are the lesser of the big three.
Crap.
Okay, AT&T
they make no money.
AT&T is that with margins. And then Verizon, which is like the margin king when it comes to profitability on an ARPU basis. They make money on each customer like nobody's business on the postpaid branded side, and AT&T is very close to them. So this is literally the company that sits between the most profitable and the fastest growing. They find themselves in the conversation for both of those things, yet the street kills them.
Yep.
Yet the street absolutely crushes them. And the thing about today with the capitulation and the sell-off, the thing about AT&T is they missed on the free cash flow prediction, but they're saying that they are going to get to 16 billion by the end of the year anyway. So what are people selling for? That's the disconnect. Everything else was on point. The only thing that isn't is the free cash flow, but they're still guiding rest of the year outlook to be the same.
Keep in mind, they did all this. Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, Sneed. I just wanted to add real quickly. Keep in mind, they did all this in the first quarter of the year, which is traditionally the worst quarter, regardless of industry, in the entire country. Most corporations, most companies that are publicly traded do horrible in the first quarter. Horrible. But these guys managed to find a way to grow and be profitable in the first quarter in the telecom industry, which is extremely difficult to do both at the same time, especially consistently at scale. AT&T managed to do it. Stanky did a great job. You can't help but get upset if you're an AT&T employee or, if you're somehow connected to them in any way, shape, or form.
Ryan, they hit on everything.
What do you want them to do?
They hit on everything. They hit their mark. That's why I was saying the only thing was, and another problem that AT&T has, but it's not specific to them. It's industry. There's phone device, handheld mobile handset, decline in upgrade rates.
Yeah.
But that's an industry problem. That's definitely not an AT&T problem. We're going to see that at T-Mobile, big trust. We're going to see it at Verizon, big trust. The upgrade rates are down.
Yeah.
And it won't be because the carriers aren't trying. They're offering free phones. You can go in with a trade-in and get a brand new iPhone 14 at any carrier. You can get a Galaxy S23 brand new trade-in any carrier.
Real question. Now's not the time to commit. People don't want to commit to a 3-year agreement on anything. I get it. I understand and I respect it. The carriers can't control that though any more than, making sure that they solidify themselves in the prepaid space, solidify themselves in the MVNO space, which Verizon has done, which AT&T has done. What else do they want Stanky and Hans to do? I'm talking about Wall Street.
Let me get Obed in here real quick.
How many customers do you think Verizon's going to lose this quarter? And do you guys think with the profits and margins in terms of T-Mobile, are they selling at a loss? What do you guys think about that?
Verizon is probably going to lose. Well, first, it's two parts. Verizon's probably going to lose at least 100,000 subs, postpaid branded.
I heard close to over 200,000.
That's a crazy high number, but I mean, we've seen some bad Q1s from Verizon, so I guess anything's possible. But I say at least 100,000 losses. With respect to what you were saying about the kind of running the two sides, right? So it's like decrease your margins and compete to grow, or keep your margins and then just try to keep your head above water and maintain profitability, right?
I'm going to be honest. If I'm a CEO, and you guys tell me what you think. If I'm a CEO and I'm in the middle of the biggest spend capex wise in my company's history, I am not sacrificing margins right now. I'm not. I'll take the losses for the consumers. I'll take the losses. It is what it is. I'll wait for my network to be fully built out, and then I'll look to attack growth.
Well, here's why I think you're right. You can't beat T-Mobile at growth. You cannot. You cannot compete with. They are the ones when it comes to switching, when it comes to people being transient, when it comes to offering the lowest price. T-Mobile will not be beat. You are literally going to fight a battle with a company that has been doing this for 10 years. Grow at all costs. Do whatever it takes. Give the lines away for free. How do you compete with that?
You don't.
I
Like
mean,
you said, you're right.
That's
You
what
don't
I'm
try.
saying. That's what I'm saying. They're selling at a loss, offering those free lines, and with the amount of customers pulling
Well, they're not
in,
selling
they
at
should
a
be
loss,
making more
but they don't
money.
have margins on their side. That's for sure.
Well, they should be making more money off those customers because if
Well, it would show
Verizon
in
was
the free
taking those
cash flow,
customers,
right?
But
It would show in their free cash flow, and it doesn't.
But the frustrating part to that is they're being rewarded by the street for not being
Yeah.
profitable. Yet
Yeah,
the
exactly.
same Wall Street smacks AT&T and Verizon in the face for being profitable but not growing as many customers.
You know what
So
this reminds me of, Brian?
what's the sweet
You know
spot?
This is what it reminds me of. You remember Michael Jordan? Remember how great he was?
Yeah.
If he missed 10 shots in a row, what would you say?
Something wrong with the rim?
Or just unacceptable, right? You would
He's
say,
not
yeah,
feeling
there's
it today.
something is wrong, right?
Yeah.
But if Billy Johnson from the G League missed 10 shots in a row, you would say, well, it's Billy Johnson, who cares? There's expectations. You see what I'm saying? So like I think these shareholders are like, wait a minute, you're big bad AT&T, you're big bad Verizon. What's going on here?
So let me respond to what I was saying earlier. So what I was saying earlier, if Verizon was pulling in those customers, the same amount of customers T-Mobile was pulling every quarter, Verizon would be making an insane amount of profit, not even close to what T-Mobile is making. So that's what I was alluding to. T-Mobile is sort of taking those customers at a loss. They're not making money off those customers really as much. I don't know the dollar amount.
I mean, costs are going up. Costs to operate a network are going up.
Yeah, they need to make more money off of those.
RF Waves brings it up. 10 gig circuits ain't cheap, man. Upgrading from 1 gig to 10 gig.
Especially when you don't own those 10 gig circuits.
You don't
have
own
to
fiber.
lease them.
Basically, how do you like your picture, bro, up front?
The carrier has something to say. Yeah, Verizon's going to have some kind of an announcement on May 15th.
Okay. Man.
You think Hans is selling wolf tickets, Obed?
Man, I've lost all hope in Hans.
Bro, it's not Hans the one that's doing it. It's actually the marketing chief that actually made this happen.
Isn't this his first move?
I think he's running the company into the ground.
Yep.
All right, guys, you ready to transition?
That doesn't make sense. How so? What has he done that's been so wrong?
This is the subject I want to get into, Steve,
Customer
right here,
service
because
trash, last in the industry.
Well,
So
Carlos,
what does
what I want to
Verizon
do is, guys, I got to pivot to the next topic. Can we come back to that at the end?
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Only because I know Verizon's got an earnings report coming up. We can kind of hit it at the end. Let's do the T-Mobile thing. All right.
Yeah.
All right. T-Mobile dropped new plans today. 2 new plans. We got all the details for you guys here. We'll talk. I'll give all the deets, and then we'll start tearing it apart and kind of breaking it down. 2 new plans, and then they got this really aggressive, like switcher promotion thing that they're doing with trading in your locked phone and all this other stuff. So let's get to the details of it. Okay. All right. The first thing I want to talk about are the plans themselves. All right. So what I'm going to do is give you guys the details for each of the plans, starting with the first one, the Go 5G. The Go 5G plan is not replacing any plan. It is alongside the Magenta MAX. It's going to be there with them, so it's not replacing a plan.
But hold up, Sneed. I've heard internal sources that they're getting rid of that plan.
Okay, when they get rid of it, we'll report it. I have to call this. I have to call it how it is today. Okay, so this is what they literally. I asked T-Mobile. I said, "Are they getting rid of the Magenta plan?" They said, "No. All these plans will be available as of May 1st." Okay, so that's what they're saying. All right, if it changes in the future, Ashay, we'll update it. All right, so the Go 5G plan, 100 gigs of premium data. I guess that means that after 100 gigs of usage, you're subject to deprio. 15 gigs of high-speed mobile hotspot and tethering. Then they slow you down to about a half a meg. Mexico and Canada, unlimited talk and text, 10 gig of high-speed data in Mexico and Canada. Then they slow you down to 2G speed. They'll give you Netflix Basic on a family account, so that's just like Magenta. Apple TV Plus for free for 6 months. After that, you'll have to start paying. 5 gigs of high-speed data in 11 European countries, unlimited text in 215 plus countries, 4 in-flight streaming sessions, 1 hour each. It is going to be included in the price lock guarantee for whatever it's worth. Pricing is coming in at $75 a month for a single line. That makes it $5 more than the Magenta plan. $55 a month per line for 2 lines. $25 a month per line, or no, 75 for the first line, 55 if you get 2 lines, so 75 and 55. Then if you get the third line, it's going to be a $25 line, the fourth line, a $25 line. And it says here, it breaks down to $43.33 per line per month for 3 lines. And that includes a free third line. So they're still including it. So it's basically set up just like the Magenta plan, but you're getting extra hotspot data, higher allotment of premium data, and you're getting Mexico and Canada a little bit more data. I think that doubled to 10 gig. So that's it. $5 for that, for the extra data. Now I will tell you guys, before we tear this down and I let you guys have at it, in and of itself, they did not do anything for the customer. Only if you really wanted 15 gigs of hotspot data. If 10 wasn't enough and you needed more, now you're getting it. That's really it. You're getting a little bit of extra data when you go to Mexico and Canada. Some people may never use that. Right? This is, in my opinion, folks, this is a $5 upsell. Unless you needed that extra hotspot data, what are they really giving you?
How much hotspot data are they giving?
It's going from 10 gig to 15 gig, I think.
So they're only giving you 15 gigs of mobile hotspot data for the same price. Verizon's giving you 50, and for $5 less, AT&T is giving you 50.
No,
what
this
else?
Is a $75 line. This is not a $90 line.
Okay, so that's 75. So what's the? I'm sorry. Continue this, Need. I apologize. Continue.
Yeah. No, we're gonna get to the more expensive plan, and that's where I think you've got something there. Does anybody want to kind of comment or?
Well,
kind of
I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed because I know Verizon.
Oh,
I know
hold on,
Verizon.
We got an update. Jake says it was a 5 gig of hotspot. Now it's 15, so it's additional 10 gigs of hotspot data.
Okay, well, Verizon's, I think their do more and play more is 25 gigs. So I mean, I'm not impressed.
Yeah,
I'm not impressed.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not impressed. I think this is just a reason for them to raise pricing, which they were.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
exactly what it is.
Eventually, they was gonna do it anyway, but
they were going to do it as soon as they were legally allowed to, which they did.
Yeah,
and they tried to market it as something bigger than what it is, and it's crap. It's not good.
This is no skin off of T-Mobile's back, giving someone an extra 10 gigs of data on their network. That's no big deal. Go ahead, Carlos.
So Sneed. So basically, I was talking to some internal sources because I had to verify what another source told me. And yeah, bro. So what's gonna happen with these plans is Sunday when the new one comes out, the Magenta MAX will be retired at a store level. So like store reps, phone representatives won't be able to do none with it. It's only gonna be online where you'll be able to until the first of the month, and then after that, it's fully retired.
All right. Well, if that's how it plays out, we'll report on it at the time. But that kind of sucks.
Yeah, these plans are full replacements, basically.
Is the plan better than Magenta? It
and
is.
Another thing, Steve, I don't know if
they're selling it for $5 more. What's that, Los?
I don't know if you guys caught this. You guys watched the thing, right, when they announced it? Am I cutting out?
No, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw when they did the announcement today. There was a certain thing that was said that I bet nobody paid attention to this little detail. I don't know, Sneed, if it's okay for me to just play it over my mic real quick so you can listen to that quick little detail.
Yeah, go ahead. Play it. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Ah, dang it. Hold on a second. It's loading right now.
No problem. Once it gets going, let me know.
Right here. Let's see it.
Price lock guarantee. You will raise your rate for talk, text, and data. So you know exactly what you pay.
Talk, text, and data. We won't raise your rate.
I heard that.
They never said about taxes and fees.
Well, Los, we already
Correct?
saw
Am
the
I
new
correct
terms of
or am I not
service.
correct on that part?
Okay, so hindsight's 2020, right? We just saw the new terms and service. Now we know why they did a new terms and service. Because they were doing new plans. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go to the next plan. Go 5G Plus. Unlimited premium data. Okay, so you're never going to be throttled, to like 2G speed or whatever, or 3G speed. All right, 50 gigs of high-speed hotspot data. I think that's up from 40 gigs.
Yeah.
Then after the 50 gigs, they slow you down to 3G speed or half a meg or whatever. Mexico and Canada, unlimited talk and text, 15 gig of high-speed data, 2G speeds after that. This is what gets me, and this is what pisses me off. New and existing customers get the same device offers. Folks, AT&T has been doing this for years.
And any unlimited plan.
Yes.
Let's clarify that.
That's and I swear, Ashay, I was going to say that, man. You nailed it. New and existing customers on any plan, whether it's the entry-level plan, the middle plan, or the premium plan. Guys.
Another one.
This is really important. AT&T, when they did this first initial deal and they put on every plan, that was Uncarrier. This is not Uncarrier. This is T-Mobile copying AT&T, but only putting it on one plan.
You know what's
putting
another
on all
thing
their
that
plans
really,
like AT&T.
You know what's the thing that really got to me, Sneed, about that part where he talked about the devices, is basically he was saying, well, AT&T only lets you trade up to a 3-year-old device. We're gonna let you trade up to a 6. That's not true, Eugene. AT&T, you can trade in an iPhone 2G or a Galaxy, the original Galaxy, and get $1,000 credit. And they're still running those promos right now as we're speaking.
Or we've caught Eugene We've caught Eugene capping 100 times, bro. We've seen him straight up lie. How many times?
Who is Eugene?
Sievert.
Oh, Mike Sievert. Okay, gotcha. Well, he's an AT&T guy, so who knows better than him?
Is a John Legier wannabe.
I mean, John was an AT&T guy as well. Nothing they're really doing is really all that Uncarrier. I mean, the best thing that they did was taxes and fees, and I don't know, getting rid of putting the Netflix involved in their stuff. I mean, I just have a strong dislike for the company altogether. I don't really like to.
Netflix Basic is included on a single line. Netflix Standard comes with the family lines. Apple TV Plus is included. 5 gig of high-speed international data, unlimited talk and text, unlimited text, not unlimited talk, unlimited text in 215 plus countries, full flight texting and Wi-Fi with streaming where available, comes with the price lock guarantee. Pricing will be based on 3 lines a month. So auto pay would be $90 for the first line, $60 for the second line, $35 for the third line. It averages to $50 per line per month for 3 lines, including a third line for free.
So no unlimited hotspot. That's what I thought that was. I thought that was how it works.
So this plan is essentially $5 more than Magenta MAX.
Yes.
And for that you get 10 gigs more of hotspot.
Yes.
You get hotspot, 15 gigs of hotspot in Canada and Mexico.
High-speed data in Canada and Mexico. Yep.
And that's it. That's all I see.
Yep.
That's different.
Honestly,
now they're giving, I guess, this 2-year device upgrade thing. But I mean, we'll talk about that in a second. But like in and of itself, in and of itself, it's a $5 premium to the Magenta MAX. Again, this is an ARPU play. This is literally an upsell.
Yeah, that's exactly. They just wanted to raise pricing.
If you were happy with 40 gigs of hotspot with Magenta MAX, why would you get this plan?
There's no reason to get it. I mean, you got even the Netflix Basic is still basic. They didn't even do Netflix. They didn't even do Netflix
your
Premium.
iPhone from Apple though for 2 years. Like you don't need a carrier to do that.
You can get it through Best Buy 2 years if you need be. I mean, that's already been solved. Like I said, man, this company's run out of bags. So, Sneed, I don't know if you remember. I'm sure you do because I'm sure you remember. But I've talked about this before. This particular company in T-Mobile has run out of rabbits to pull out of the hat. The reason why they are where they are, it's not because they're super smart or anything like that, other than the fact that they were able to convince the the Trump administration, FCC, and all the powers that be to allow them to do what AT&T wasn't allowed to do under the previous administration, under the Obama administration. After that, and the money that they got from AT&T not being able to purchase them, like, yo, guys, what else have they been able to do that's been organic? So I've said this more than once as well. This industry is all about doing it again. Okay, you've reached a level of dominance today. What about tomorrow? Can you do it over? It's about predictable excellence. And you have to be able to replicate that performance every day, every year over year, quarter over quarter, especially when it comes to network performance and reliability. Now that there's no rabbits out of the hat that they can pull, they're one of the big three now. What else are they going to do? This particular plan, this particular ploy, this marketing thing that they just did, it's nothing. They don't have anything else to pull out of the hat. Now they got to do it on their own. And this network advantage that they're touting, it's getting smaller by the day. Verizon's building at scale like crazy. AT&T just announced they're like 160 million. These companies are coming for their behinds. So if you don't have by the end of the year, their network lead, quote unquote, is going to be gone. Now they're charging the same price as Verizon. They got the nerve to do that, knowing Verizon has a better overall network product and it's getting even better. I'm just trying to figure out what's the new rabbit that they have to pull out of the hat to continue the growth. Also, what's the new rabbit that they're going to have to combine growth and profitability? Because the market cannot possibly keep these guys over $100 a share if they're not getting the growth and the profitability. They're the only ones trading that high, but aren't delivering both. Verizon's not giving the growth, but they're giving the profitability. AT&T is giving the growth, not as much profitability from a free cash flow standpoint, and the market just tanked them.
Brian, let me get to a couple of comments, and then you'll get a chance to actually finish this, and here's why. All right, Jake, to address the having an extra plan option, you're right. It's not a bad thing. There's probably a small percentage of people who could use the extra 10 gigs of high-speed data. There's probably a small percentage of people who could use some of those add-ons like the Apple TV Plus and the Netflix and stuff. I totally agree. That there's going to be a small number of people. I just don't know how many it is, right?
Wow.
But I do see, though, Jake, that there is a 5% increase on this for a feature that doesn't cost T-Mobile anything to add. Like giving someone an extra 10 gigs of data on the network, that doesn't hurt the network. And Bryant, you can answer this, man. Where did I just move this? Oh, here it is. The question came from Jarrett. He said, "Why does Bryant have such hatred for T-Mobile?"
I'll tell you why. Jarrett. The reason why is because they have recycled ideas that the other carriers have been doing for years. Like I said, where is the innovation now? What was innovative about being allowed to purchase Sprint?
All right, how about this one, Brian?
I mean, what was innovative about that?
How about this plan? This one is called the Essentials Savings. They got rid of Essentials, the base Essentials. They got rid of it. All right, now Essentials Savings, tax and fees not included, so you'll be paying those. 50 gigs of premium data, unlimited, half a megabit hotspot, unlimited talk and text to Mexico, unlimited data at 2G speed, 128 kbps. Unlimited text in 215 plus countries, and then we got price lock included. 3 lines on auto pay come in at $50 for the first line, $30 for the second line, $10 for the third line. There are no free lines with this, so you got to be on one of the Go 5G plans for that.
So Sneed, this is what I wanted to bring up with this plan, the Go Plus. If you think about value, okay, so I want to compare the Verizon Get More versus that plan, okay? So with they both have the same amount of hotspot data, 50 gigs. So we're gonna throw that they have it, but the difference between the Verizon and the T-Mobile one is the Verizon one. After you reach your 50 gigs, if you're on ultra wideband, you still get data at 3 megs per second versus being slowed down to 3G speeds. Now, on the unlimited Canada Mexico, yes, T-Mobile gives you 15 gigs now on the new plan, but guess what? Verizon gives you 2 gigs per day by 30 days. That's 60 gigs a month. So, I mean, who's still giving the better value? If you got to put all those perspectives in play, bro.
Absolutely, all the factors. Big shout out to Santiago. Thanks for the super chat, sir. Were any changes made to the business plans? My understanding is the only difference is international data. I'm gonna have to ask the Bearded Dragon because he's got access to that as a business customer. So I'll get back to you on that, S Blue Tech. And if anybody in the live chat knows, or if anyone can confirm, we'd appreciate the feedback. Let us know what happened with the business side.
It's just more hotspot data. That's it.
Okay, so basically the same thing.
And more international data. That's it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Obed.
Yeah. Honestly, quite frankly, I was expecting them on the 5G Plus plan to increase the hotspot to 100 gigs, but they didn't do that. So I thought that would have been.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. Because honestly, if either it was going to be 100 or unlimited hotspot, but that's disappointing in itself.
But they brag about their ultra capacity being so great. So why didn't they do a Verizon move and say, well, instead of giving you 3 meg per second like Verizon does on ultra wideband, while you're on ultra capacity, we'll give you 5 or 10 meg per second speed once you reach your limit.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that?
Yeah.
Because they don't own any fiber, and they know they don't own any fiber, and they know 10 gig circuits are expensive, and they have home internet.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, man, it's just a bunch of amateurs. I mean, the best thing about the company is the ability to be able to market. I mean, they're Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. They're the universal circuit.
Big shout out to Alex. Thanks for the super chat. Innovation for T-Mobile was to buy Sprint, the 2.5 gigahertz N41.
Exactly. That's the best thing that they were allowed to do that because they just happened to come across, and I'm just being honest,
right? Timing.
They just happened to come across an administration that just didn't see, what the big deal was as far as going from 4 major carriers to 3. So be it, man. That's fine. Yeah. But now they're one of the big 3. Do it again. What's the innovative strategy they're going to be able to do now? Because they're not the cheapest game in town anymore. Now it's the MVNOs. The cable companies have come in, and even they're tired of T-Mobile because they're advertising almost exclusively towards them. Even they're tired of those guys.
All right, guys, we got one more element of this, though, Brian. We're not even done, man.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we're not even done. Go 5G Plus includes upgrade flexibility. This is where that phone freedom feature comes in. All right, and what they say that they're going to give equal treatment to new and existing customers today and always, right? So they're going to lock that in. The easy unlock feature allows you to leave your carrier who might have you in a 3-year contractual device payment obligation. So, and specifically, they were targeting big cable. Well, actually, more so AT&T because AT&T kind of brought in the whole 36-month installments. And then they have a go back guarantee where after 30 days, if things aren't working out with T-Mobile, they'll give you $50 a line and they'll send you back to the carrier that you want to be on. All right. They said phone freedom will be available starting April 23rd. I think the plans are available at the same time, if not next week. I just want to say this, guys, and then you can have at it. Giving customers the same deal on whether you're new or existing, that's AT&T. So they didn't innovate that. They copied AT&T. In fact, AT&T's is better because they let you do it on any plan, right? So this is a knockoff version of the AT&T upgrade for new and existing customers. Also, I want to throw in that AT&T will let you do it on any plan, not just the Plus, which is the most expensive plan from T-Mobile. And I also want to throw in one more thing. Do not overlook this, folks. In order for all of your lines to have this upgrade feature, you have to have all your lines on the Go 5G Plus. You can't mix and match. Verizon lets you mix and match. AT&T lets you mix and match. T-Mobile is selling wolf tickets. They are the carrier when it comes to mix and match. Verizon lets you mix and match. AT&T does. The whole industry does, but T-Mobile won't. You know why? Because they want to get all of your lines onto the most expensive plan.
They can't afford it. They got
but here's my point, Brian. They're selling wolf tickets. They try to spin it like they're doing you a favor, but no, they're not. If they wanted to do you a favor, they'd let you mix and match, but they don't. You could have one essentials. You could have a Go 5G. You could have a Magenta. You could have one of anything, but they won't let you do that, right? Because they want you on the most expensive plan at $90 a month, right? Or whatever the breakdown is after 3 lines.
Just fraudulent.
And one more thing. Verizon doesn't lock their phones after 60 days. It automatically unlocks.
Yep.
That's why they can't target Verizon.
Can't.
The reason they're targeting AT&T, and this is ironic, they're targeting AT&T, but yet AT&T does the mix and match, which T-Mobile won't, and AT&T does upgrading new and existing on all plans, which T-Mobile doesn't, but AT&T does. This is incredible. They are literally throwing stones from a glass house.
That's what you have to do.
That's what you have to do. That is a hypocrite move. Now, here's the thing. I don't blame them for trying. Respect the hustle. Try to get whatever you can. But the consumer has to be smart about this, right? The consumer needs to recognize they're recycling other carriers' moves, but doing it worse. They're just masking it. Caleb was right. This is lipstick on a pig.
Yeah,
shout out to MS. Thank you for the super chat, man. He said AT&T held up auction 108. How can they offer more hotspot? I don't know.
Hey, man, it's time to pay the bills. It's time to pay the bills now. You can't give away the shop anymore, so you don't have any more rabbits to pull out of the hat. You've got to actually conduct yourself like you're a business that's in it to make money, which is why they look more and more like AT&T and Verizon with the lesser product. AT&T and Verizon are building and will build, when it's all said and done, better 5G networks overall than what T-Mobile will have. And then from there, then what?
You know what you got to be. You know what they said, Brian? They said that 72% of people don't want to pay the 3-year installment. They want 2-year. Are you buying that?
I would like to know what's their source. I want to see the works cited. What's the bibliography? What's the source?
Well, how about this? How about this for a source? Verizon introduces nation's first wireless phone upgrade plan. New every 2, it was called, back in 2000.
Yeah.
This was done 23 years ago, folks. New every 2.
Wow, I wasn't even born. It's crazy.
Verizon had a new every 2 23 years ago.
Wow.
But that was an Uncarrier event built on upgrade of phones. Meanwhile, Verizon also lets you mix and match plans. T-Mobile doesn't. AT&T will let you upgrade on the same deals, new and existing, on any plan. T-Mobile doesn't. Not even with their most expensive plan, they won't let you do it.
So, Sneed, T-Mobile has the worst down payments on phones, on phone installments out of any other carrier by far.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I've never tried. Have you tried to finance through them?
Oh yeah, it's horrible. Horrible. I tried to trade in my 12 Pro Max for 14. It was like $425 down. I was like, wow, these guys are out of pocket. Like,
what do you guys think of this right here, Obed? What do you think? New every 2 from Verizon back in the year 2000. I was in high school. I was like a freshman in high school.
That's crazy.
Yeah. New every 2. Carlos, you remember these days? New every 2?
Yep.
Honestly, the phones are getting much better. So for most people, I mean, I don't really see it as beneficial. For a tech geek like us, I mean, this is phenomenal. Most people, well, tech geeks, most of them upgrade every year or so give or take. But, you know, for the average consumer, I don't think it really means much. You know, but no one wants to be stuck on an installment plan for 3 years, 4 years, whatnot.
Why not?
So,
why not? It's interest-free. Guys, it's an interest-free loan. Where else are you going to get an interest-free loan in America?
Yeah, this is what I talked about the last show. You remember, Brian?
Interest-free loan.
Yeah.
Where's the customer losing?
Yeah.
Going from 2 years to 3 years made people
not 0.5%, 0%.
Guys, I mean, going from 2 years to 3 years lowered people's phone bills. How's that a bad thing? I just want to understand how that
remember when the iPhone went to $1,000, Brian?
Yeah.
You remember when the Galaxy started going to $1,000?
Yeah, and customers were livid.
Phone payments were going up to $50 a month.
Yeah,
and then they did 3 years, and now they went down to $36 a month.
Yeah, I mean, it lowered people's phone bills at 0% interest. I mean, again, especially when you combine that with the trade-ins, you got people who are paying $20 for phones that cost $2,200, $2,400.
One more thing, man. One more thing I want to mention. They're making a big deal about unlocking your phone, right? Getting an unlocked phone, right? Do you guys know what you'll be trading in when you trade in a locked AT&T phone? You know what T-Mobile's going to give you?
What?
A locked T-Mobile phone. Let that sink in. They're telling you, we'll take care of your locked AT&T phone just so they can hand you a locked T-Mobile phone.
Meanwhile,
This
there's
is a scam.
Meanwhile, there's only one carrier out of the three who
unlocks
who
automatically at 60 days. You don't have to call. You don't have to deal with customer care. 60 days on the network, it unlocks automatically.
Yo, I just help me understand.
This is a scam.
Yeah.
I swear to you, I'm not joking.
Truly.
This is an absolute scam. Today's Uncarrier event is a scam. They should have just launched the regular plans. They should have just said, we got 2 new plans. You guys want a little more hotspot? You want some more international data? You want these cool upgrade options? We got it on these plans. This was not Uncarrier. Folks,
whatsoever.
They created a problem and they pretended to fix it, but the problem didn't exist. They didn't innovate anything. They recycled old things that other carriers did, but they put lipstick on a pig.
It's crazy.
This is a scam. This is absolutely a scam. Anybody who doesn't recognize this as a scam can't see past the magenta colored shades.
But that's the part that's so concerning to me, Sneed. There are a lot of people who fit that description then, because again, of the 3 carriers, who's trading at $100 plus? Out of all 3 carriers, who's grown the most in the last 3 years? I mean,
who trades a locked phone for a locked phone? Who does that?
I don't understand. And it's
what are you doing? You're running circles. You're going nowhere. You're running on a treadmill. You're not moving.
For a lesser product.
You're trading an AT&T locked phone for a T-Mobile locked phone. How does that even make sense?
Or a lesser product. I mean, AT&T, to their credit, man, the LTE network is badass. Excuse my language. It's badass, man. It's good.
Yeah.
And their 5G network ain't that much worse.
Well, how about this for some Wolf tickets? You want to hear some more Wolf tickets from T-Mobile? They say they're the 5G leader. Guess who has the most square miles of 5G in the country?
It's AT&T.
AT&T, man.
FirstNet. Yeah.
Yeah, FirstNet. I mean, the competition for network prowess, for network dominance, it's still between blue and red. Now, I still believe wholeheartedly red is going to have the best of all 3 when it's all said and done, and everybody's deployed all their spectrum. Everybody's got their bells and whistles out there. But AT&T is.
They're going to have.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to have. I don't think it's going to be AT&T. In fact, I'm positive it's not going to be AT&T. But at the same time, they're going to be very close.
Honestly, I think T-Mobile was going to oversell the network like they did in LTE with the home internet this time around.
Say that one more time.
T-Mobile's going to oversell their 5G network like they did with LTE.
You're probably right about that. You're probably right about that.
Yeah, they're going to oversell.
But AT&T, man, they really do build very, very, very strong, solid networks.
And you know what's crazy? T-Mobile is very easy to not just easy to finesse, but scam. Anybody can just put a fake address, get the home internet, and then take it to another address and use that capacity. And that's how it can get congested, which is crazy.
I don't have a problem with T-Mobile trying to move forward and win and compete. That's not what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
But this is a lot of wolf tickets. This is a lot of smoke and mirrors. I ain't buying it, bro.
Yeah, man.
You know, this is like when Verizon did the Welcome Unlimited plan and I called a spade a spade. I said this is literally to compete in the entry-level market.
Yeah.
It was not designed to give people value. It was not designed to give people features. They responded to what the market said. We want Verizon, but cheaper. So they did it.
They took it down 2 weeks later, then put it back.
But my point is they responded to a sentiment from consumers.
Yeah.
Who was asking for this?
Their customers.
My point is this: if they leave Magenta and Magenta MAX up for sale,
yeah,
they know something. They're leaving the opportunity that this may flop. The only way you know that they're 100% confident in these new plans would be if they took down Magenta MAX and Magenta. But they know that there is a possibility that this could derail momentum, so they're selling all lines, all types of plans right now.
And the naming is just, it's kind of like Verizon when they had to go the get more, do more. Like the naming just doesn't make sense.
Hey, big shout out to S Blue Tech. Appreciate the super chat. His second or third one today. Appreciate you. Overselling home internet is right. Last night I got a notification that T-Mobile home internet is available at my address, where I get like 1 bar of LTE. Uh-oh.
I mean, yeah, like I said, anybody could just put a fake address, take it to another address, use the access capacity, and like I said, they're gonna oversell the network pretty quickly. I say within the next year or so. I mean, it's going to change pretty quickly, and the network's going to be very comparable too. So, but when all said and done, I think AT&T is going to have the most capacitive network because, first of all, they're not going to be selling home internet everywhere. It's going to be in certain parts, right? And so that leaves room for AT&T to have a lot of capacity that's just unused and sitting there.
Well, they have the least amount of spectrum for 5G as well. So
yeah,
there's a reason why they're not doing home internet. It's not because they don't want to. It's because they don't have the assets to deploy it. So I hear what you're saying, and it makes sense. Yeah. But at the same time, from a scientific standpoint, it doesn't necessarily, at least I don't believe it means they're going to be the most capacitive because they've also got the least amount of assets to deploy. So as far as capacity is concerned, in my opinion, it's going to end up being Verizon because they've got the largest portfolio overall across high band, mid band, low band. They've got the most, and they've got the fiber, assets and everything to support that stuff as well. There's nobody that has the spectrum portfolio across the entire, available spectrum out there like Verizon does. You just don't know. Nobody else has enough. So, I mean, I don't know.
And, the one mistake T-Mobile is making is not building those small cells in the neighborhoods where they're going to really need it the most with the home internet. That's the big mistake they're making, and they're going to regret that. Yes, they have, dense spacing in terms of like macros and whatnot, but they're going to need a lot of those small cells.
Well, I don't think it's a mistake. I agree with you. They're going to need small cells, but I don't think it's a mistake. I think it's a calculated move because small cells are expensive. Whereas when you have those macros, they cover a lot more bang for your buck, as opposed to small cells, which are a little bit more surgical, designed for certain areas, for certain footages, for certain 800, 800 feet, whatever the case may be. They're more surgical, and so they cost more. When you're talking about a company that doesn't own any fiber, asking them to put a bunch of small cells out there where, if depending on how many radios you have, the industry standard is most radios require a 10 gig link. So if you've got 4 radios on one small cell, that's 4 10 gig links you're going to need. And that's just for the uplink. Excuse me, just for the front haul. I apologize. Just for the front haul. So it's very expensive to do small cells at scale across a country that's 3,000 miles long.
Yeah. And I'm not saying they need it. And I'm not saying they need it everywhere, but they're going to need it, especially in the urban core. Where absolutely. The home internet the most, that's where they're going to need it. The rural setting, not so much. I think they'll be fine there. No worries there because it's so spread out. But the rural area, I mean, not the rural, the urban core, they're going to need it a lot.
Well, today marked the day, I think, to your point, man, they're going to try to address that. They need to increase their free cash flow and their profitability and their margins so that they can build those solutions.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, that means they have to raise prices. So today was the beginning of them trying to do that. Let's see how the market responds. In my opinion, they're not going to respond well because now they're charging the same thing as Verizon is for service. What's the difference? And I think the average consumer, while they may make some decisions that make me scratch my head, I think most people would agree that Verizon has a better network. And I think most people would agree between the best plan that T-Mobile has and the 5G Get More, the 5G Get More plan is still better.
Bro.
It's still better. So if I got to pay $90, I'm going to Verizon.
Brian, like I compared earlier, bro. Okay, Canada, Mexico, bro. Yeah, it's only 2 gigs a day. But in 30 days, that's 60 gigs, bro. You're only getting 15 on the other one. I mean, we know by far AT&T has the best Canada, Mexico because it's truly unlimited. But if you have to compare between the other two, I would go with Verizon on that because you get 2 gigs a day, that's 60 gigs per month. And then with the hotspot, if you're a person that needs it, and let's say 50 gigs is the highest plan you can get, at least once you go over your 50, you're still at 3 megs. You can get a lot done with 3 megs per second.
Yeah. We're in the middle of a recession, or at least we're trending towards a recession.
We're in a recession.
I don't think that telling people that they can get extra Mexico and Canada perks is going to cut it. People are trying to save money, which means they may or may not be traveling internationally. So I don't think that's going to win market share for them. If anybody is looking for plans that are going to be shopping in the premium price point, they're going to be looking for ways they can save money in other ways. So for me, that means streaming perks. And what additional streaming perks did they give? Zero. It's the same Netflix basic plan. They didn't even go to Netflix premium. It just stayed basic.
Hey, MS, thank you for that super chat. Really appreciate it, man. It says here renamed Google Fi, Samsung, and T-Mobile 2. I don't know what you mean by that, bro, but thank you for the super chat. Sneed greatly appreciates it. All right, but yeah, bro, you're right, bro. The perks, bro. Like they should have offered a little bit more of the streaming perks, or what they should have done is they should have just went balls deep, bro, and said YouTube TV, half off.
I mean,
that stuff's expensive.
I think the hotspot should have just went up to unlimited or 100 gigs, like I said earlier. I really thought they should have done that.
Honestly, I don't even think that's really what they needed. I think they needed the streaming perks. And if they would have just matched the 50 gigs that Verizon was offering and then gave unlimited premium data, that would have been a better, more competitive plan than what they brought out. Yeah. But the streaming perks cost money, man. They're expensive.
Yeah,
and so that's the reason why they kept it where it was. Netflix basic, it was all they could afford.
And guess what, guys? YouTube TV is selling at a lot.
But hold on, Brian. I don't know if you knew this because when I used to work at T-Mobile, you know that you have to add an SOC code whenever you set up an account. I had to add the SOC code, and I confirmed that with current employees that are still working at the company today. So when they set it up, it's like an added SOC, meaning that T-Mobile is actually paying the full price for that streaming service out of their own pocket.
That's expensive.
They're not getting at a discount rate. They're actually paying the full price.
That's all the more reason it makes sense why they didn't increase from the Netflix basic. Makes sense now.
And Andre, thank you for that super chat. If AT&T brings back the ability to do a 2-year installment, this new AT&T plan or this new T-Mobile plan will be dead in the water. Correct.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are we talking about, guys? Really, what?
They should have just kept Magenta MAX. That's what. Today made no sense.
You did a price hike to give to give additional hotspot and additional Canada Mexico data, and include the Apple TV that was already given as a perk, anyways.
You can go get it at Best Buy. Like these guys are not serious,
bro. Plus, man. At the end of the day, if you think about it, bro, the promos, AT&T has been really giving away, like letting you trade in all these old ass phones, man. What company do you know that lets you trade an S2, a Galaxy S2, man?
And
that's unheard of, bro.
And it's crazy. And it's crazy. T-Mobile doesn't have. AT&T doesn't have any perks on the plans. It's wild. And
they don't got none, bro. They're cold blooded.
Exactly. And yet they're still growing. which is it makes me scratch my head even more. They're still growing at a higher clip than Verizon is without giving nearly the amount of perks.
But you know why, Bryant, right?
I have no idea, man. Help me out.
It's the discounts, bro. You could literally, they have contracts with a lot of employers. Like here in Vegas, bro, you work for any of the casinos, you're automatically getting 20% off your bill. You work for the city, you get 25. Bro, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Like they got literally discounts with anything, bro. And if they can't figure out, if you, let's say you just a hustler, bro, they'll tell you, okay, sign up for $12 a year to this. It's $12 a year for the AARP, and you get automatically 12% off your bill every month.
Oh, and if you're a student or you had the Government Connect program, whatever or not, you get a discount.
Yeah, 25%, dude.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about, bro.
That discount. I was like, oh my god, I'm loving this. So yeah, I mean,
that's
honestly
that's where AT&T wins.
It sucks for T-Mobile. I kind of feel bad for them in a sense. They don't really need to do all this if AT&T is succeeding and just doing the basic things, really. I mean,
and I don't know, man.
It's hard to do both. It's hard to do the competitive pricing or the pricing and everything for the new phones and all that kind of stuff, to do the promotional spin, and on the back end also do the plan stuff that Verizon is doing, all the perks. Which is why you kind of have to pick one. Which is why if I'm a carrier, like I said, guys, maybe I'm crazy, but I like Hans's strategy better than anyone else's. I'm in this to make money because I know I'm spending tremendous capex on all this network build, and I'm getting people gigabit speeds on their phones. I want to be paid for that. I want to be able to have higher margins so that I can reinvest it into my business. I mean, that's what my shareholders ultimately say they want. And for me, I would be willing to sacrifice some subscriber loss, at least during the build process, until I get everything out there. And then from there, I can start focusing on maybe doing more promotional spend, because my capex is going to go down. But right now, while my capex is elevated, it doesn't make sense to also, because now I'm going into the red. Now I'm losing money, and customers are happy, and that's great. But am I making any money? Are they going to be happy long term? Probably not, because something's got to give. And when you're building these networks, you guys know these radios break all the time. You have to always spend money either on capex to build it. Once that goes down, then your expense is whatever it's going to be, because you got to keep it working.
I want to throw a curveball at you guys then. Let's say this announcement on the 15th, because I mean, my sources, this is what one of my sources is telling me, bro. They're talking about possibly the highest plan with because they're talking about doing the restructure of plans. They're saying that possibly it might go up by $5, but include taxes and fees. How would you feel about that?
I don't think I understand. You said go to $90, but include the taxes and fees still?
Like basically it'll go up by $5, but it'll include taxes and fees.
So go from who are you saying is doing this? Verizon or
like if Verizon does it, they're right from what my internal sources I'm actually talking with them right now. They're talking about there's two options that they're talking about doing with this new plan so far. It's either going to be $5 increase with taxes and fees included, or it's going to be taxes included, but not the fees, not the local fees, just the main taxes.
I would say, I'm sorry. I think the first option, increasing by $5, but going with taxes and fees included, seems like it would be the most reasonable thing or the most realistic thing to do. I wonder what else would be included with that $5. What else are they going to throw in? Because I don't want to lie, with the 5G Get More plan that they have, what else are you going to put in there? I mean, they got streaming, they've got the cloud storage, they've got the Apple Music. I don't know what else they could give you.
I don't know, bro. They got a lot.
I don't know. I mean, maybe another streaming service. Maybe they put Netflix in there too. And I mean, if they did that,
T-Mobile
I
plans are
probably would
done.
get that plan if they put Netflix in there. I mean, for $5, I would do that. Especially if they're going to throw in tax and fees too. I would do that.
If they did that, T-Mobile's plans would be worthless, essentially. Like the perks they're giving out.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't know.
here's a question for you, Brian. How much money is Verizon making with the lost postpaid subscribers?
Well, they haven't come out and said they lost money yet. I mean, their revenue continues to grow like 2%. Even in the second and third quarter of last year, when they were, those were quote unquote horrible quarters they weren't very good quarters by Verizon standards. They still grew revenue both quarters. I mean, their EBITDA may have gone down a little bit. They may not have been quite as profitable, but the revenue did increase. So they're not having problems with people stepping up their plans. Their customer base, based on their reporting, seems to be in line with a company that doesn't seem to be cash strapped right now. So they got to be doing something right, man. Yeah, I guess it's not resonating with the switcher for whatever reason. And okay, fine, but if I'm a CEO, like if I'm Hans, I'm willing to take the heat for that until I finish my network build and my capex can go down to normal, to normal levels, and then from there I can go to promotional spend and trying to chase growth and things of that nature. But it's hard to do both right now, especially in the middle of a recession. I mean, am I making sense? I mean, from a business standpoint, does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, so there's people saying, bro, that what's the point of the perks if you don't utilize them? Let's say that you're the type of people that don't utilize the perks.
The point of the perks is to remain competitive for the people that do. For the people that don't, maybe it doesn't matter to everybody, and that's true. But those plans don't just have perks. For example, with Verizon and to AT&T, them as well, they're giving you tons of network access as well. The highest, mobile hotspot you can get is 50 gigs. Verizon and AT&T offer that. They give you the premium data as well. So you're not even just getting that. Even if you're not looking for the perks, I mean, shoot, man, that 5G Get More gives you 600 gigs of Verizon cloud service. So you have the ability to be able to store your stuff in the cloud. I mean, what else do people want?
Well, I'm going to let you guys know this. I still have the Sprint plan. I still have 120 gigabits of hotspot on it.
Oh, man. You're killing it, man. But, I mean, Verizon's giving away 600 gigs of cloud. They got 50 gigs. I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to beat that 120 gigs, at least not nowadays.
No, man, I still have it, man. I can screenshot. I send it. Hold on, I'm a screenshot and send it to the chat.
Bro, but
that's all right, man. That's cool. That's cool.
It's crazy.
But the thing about it, bro, honestly, bro. So, like, I have access to AT&T True Unlimited Hotspot, bro. And you know that a lot of people don't even care about that anymore.
Unlimited hotspot?
Yeah, I got access to that. But so what I'm saying is, people don't care about that no more, bro. Before, they used to care about that a lot. But now with internet options becoming more viable there, like your Verizon Home Internet, your T-Mobile Home Internet, your, fiber expansions and stuff like that, people don't really care about stuff like that. They want more of the value aspect of the
I can
plan.
see that.
What are we talking about? That the unlimited hotspot, bro. What is it like? The not even 1% of us that are on this chat.
To be quite frank with you, nobody wants Netflix. Let's be honest. Netflix is boring.
Wow.
I mean, if it was HBO Max, Apple Music, okay, those are great perks. But I think that Netflix on us T-Mobile has, I think that's just gonna die out eventually. They need another streaming service. I know they have Apple TV, but that's not all the way there.
Hold on, Flyboy Rex has a question. Hey guys, my question: what will happen with Magenta 55 and military? Those plans will stay the same as long as you stay the same. It stays the same. But can we say that they're gonna honor any promotional pricing later on in the future? Probably not. They'll probably end up just making you want to push to the most current plan to get a promotion. That's what T-Mobile. If you notice, that's what T-Mobile's been really pushing. Is they've been pushing the higher to be on the highest plan to get the best promotion. That's what I've noticed. So, because like with Verizon, what I've noticed, I mean, AT&T by far is the best. Every plan gets it. Period. But like at least with Verizon, you can be on the play more or the do more and still get the better promotional pricing, and even the start gets something. It might not be the full amount as the play more and higher, but at least it gets something. I don't know if you guys seen that. But yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how this plays out, man. I mean, Sunday this plan starts. We'll see how much traction it gets, and then we'll see if it is true what sources are saying that it's only going to be offered online if you want the older Magenta, and we'll see if by the first of the month if that changes too, where it won't be offered on it no more.
They kept the Magenta MAX around still for a reason, only online.
Yeah.
So there's a reason for that. So I really think the naming and the branding of the plans are trash. Go 5G, 5G, was it 5G Plus? Or Go 5G Plus, whatever it is.
Something like that. Oh.
It's just trash. It sounds like the Verizon plans. It doesn't sound enticing at all.
So what they said too.
You think Verizon's plans are trash too?
No. I'm just saying the naming, how they name the plans. Like they're just confusing. Like Go 5G, like what what does that mean? Like Go 5G, I mean, and then to get more, do more, play more. I mean, they're just synonyms.
At the end, bro. So I don't know if you guys also heard that they were talking about on the Magenta plan, or not the Magenta, the Go 5G plan. If you got the actual regular Go, you could add the Plus add-on. So basically, they're copying the T-Mobile One plan. Remember how they had the T-Mobile One, and then you had the One Plus. You can add the One Plus Up feature. So at the end, this is not even really innovative, man. I don't know, man. I just think this is just a recycled plan with a different name. They basically brought back, in a way, T-Mobile One, but just renamed it.
Yeah, that's what that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, I don't get the intended purpose of the name and just the plan change in general. I mean, you could have just added new features to the Magenta MAX and just called it a day, or whatever modifications they made. But
yeah, the phone.
I mean, again, this was just a reason for them to raise pricing. That's all it was.
Yup.
Anybody who doesn't see that, I don't know what to tell you.
You're a fool, man. Straight up. Take those Magenta thongs out, man. Stop putting them to the side, man.
But they need it because the margins and profits, they're not there.
Yeah, bro. It's just like the phone unlock situation. Like, they're not unlocking a phone. They're not giving you an unlocked phone. That's why I don't get why the hell they named their phone unlock. They literally did that, bro, just to basically the average Joe Blow to basically fish them in, thinking that they're gonna get unlocked. Because to me, if I was the average Joe Blow and I didn't know any better, I'll be like, oh shit! So I get to trade in my AT&T phone.
Yeah.
I come there and then I get an unlocked phone.
And yeah, it's crazy because most people, I mean, the average consumer just won't know. They're not going to read the fine print. I promise you that. So,
yeah, they're gonna think that they got an unlocked phone. They're gonna be like, oh shit, I got an unlocked phone now.
but I think the NAD needs to investigate this because this is false advertising by far.
But that's the thing, though. T-Mobile has been able.
Get away with
T-Mobile's
these
been able to
things.
get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been years, bro, that they've just been selling wolf tickets, bro. You know, and it doesn't make sense that these Uncarrier moves, well, supposedly Uncarrier moves, bro. They're just now he ran out of options. Brian's right. They ran out of options, and they're just grabbing stuff from 20 years ago and just kind of revamping it in a way to make it look like it's revolutionary.
Yeah, you might as well buy, the phones from the manufacturers. That's my best bet.
Okay, hold on. So we got Taurus here saying, "Go 5G Plus. You can get a free 5G phone with up to 830 with eligible trade-in plus the upgrade flexibility. They can trade in an old phone up to 6 years old. Okay, well with AT&T, I can trade in a Galaxy S2 and get an S23 right now. So that means I can go buy one for $5 and get $1,000 trade-in. What's new about it? And another thing about it too is you trade it in after 2 years. Guess what? That's basically paying the phone. You basically have to utilize the full 2 years of credits to be able to qualify for the next upgrade. The only difference is one is 2 year, one is 3 year. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Still the same thing. Yeah, man. People need to look at everything, and then you got to trade, and then basically in order for you to get the full maximization of the value, you got to literally sit there and let the credits kick in for the full entire time, for the trade-in. That's why you're better off going to the manufacturer, going to Best Buy, going to the Apple store, go somewhere where you can actually get the credit right then and there, and you just pay the difference.
Yep, exactly. That's what I would recommend.
Oh, look at what Santiago said. He said, watch the next Uncarrier move. Will be saying that they'll make the plans $5 cheaper, but won't include taxes and fees.
They don't have any more Uncarrier moves. They're done. They've been done. What else can they do? I mean,
Yeah,
can you
bro.
think of any?
So, question, guys. I think we all agree with what was just said. So going into the second, third, and fourth quarter this year, do you think
Go
that
ahead.
Verizon starts to right the ship and turn things around from a growth standpoint, or do things just kind of remain the same?
I think it's going to remain the same. I don't really see a shift in terms of strategy. I think Hans is going to, like, people say he's going to remain stubborn. He's going to continue selling and upselling the premium plans, and continue doing what he's doing.
So maybe I'm not asking the question correctly. Let me try again.
Yeah.
Given where T-Mobile is as far as what they've done recently, they're doing the same exact thing you just said. They're upselling now. They're charging the same pricing as Verizon is for their most premium plan. It's $90 now. That's the industry standard. So now that that's happened, now that we've kind of unpacked and peeled the onion back a little bit as far as what the real value of T-Mobile's moves have been today, do you think that's going to be something that maybe perhaps gives people a little bit more incentive to take a look again at Verizon now that the pricing is exactly the same between both carriers?
Let's put it this way, bro. I think whatever happens on May 15th is going to determine how the second and third quarter and on is going to go. Basically, May 15th announcement is what's going to determine it. Basically, it's like a make it or break it, Either it's still going to stay business as usual or they shook something up.
Wait, so what are, we don't obviously know what Verizon's announcing, but what do you guys think it's going to be?
I mean, it's probably going to be something related to plans, just like what what Carlos was saying before, something related to plans. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there's something related to, you know, taxes and fees or something like that, but maybe also an increase in price at some point. Maybe throwing in another, streaming, another streaming deal or something like that. But outside of that, I mean, there's really not much else you can really throw at the wall that's going to stick. What's going to get the customer in the door? Maybe HBO Max. Maybe that's the silver key, the silver dollar, or the the special rabbit out of the hat that Verizon's going to need, or something along those lines. But they're already giving people the best that you can get from a network standpoint, as far as their the most premium plan. Their promotions on their phones are comparable, at least, to what the other carriers are doing. So HBO Max or Netflix or something like that, putting that in. I mean, they already got the Plus Play model, so you can already get those promotions through Verizon now if you want to. I mean, I really don't know what's coming there. I don't know. I don't know.
Bro, do you think, bro, damn, what was I gonna say? Hold on, let me think of that. You guys can see. Let me think of that train process real quick. I literally just had it and it slipped my damn tongue. Wow. Now I'm trying to think. But do you guys think if Verizon really did change, like, let's say they introduced a new plan, and let's just say they were cheaper, do you think that will actually, even if they have to, you still have to pay taxes and fees. So with taxes and fees, it would be equivalent to the price of T-Mobile. But with taxes, do you think that would drive more people to Verizon?
I would think they will make people, it would give people incentive to take a look at Verizon again. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, when people look at their bills, see how they could save, and they shop around, and they see, oh, a few months ago I came back here, I see Verizon was a little bit more expensive, but now I get the same pricing with the same amount of lines as T-Mobile. I might check them out this time. So yeah, it's gonna give people an incentive to maybe give Verizon another look and see if we can make it work by crunching down the numbers. 'Cause that's all it comes down to, really.
Mm-hmm. Brian, I was thinking the other day, I was even telling Sneed about this, bro, when we were talking on the phone. I was like, bro, you know what? Brian is right. I was like, since back then, the reason why customer service and everything was so superb and everything was in the States was because it did cost more to play. You feel me? Like, even though like people think that the plans were, cheaper and all this and that, but at the end they were making more money off the plans because they cost more. Versus now they got to offer all these perks. If you think about it, Verizon's offering like almost $70 worth of perks. The plan's $90, dude. So they're really only making $20 off the line access if you really think about it in that perspective. So at the end of the day, they have to cut corners everywhere else, bro. Versus back then, they were making that full, let's say they charged $70, they were making that full $70 to the access. So that's why they ended up having to, cut down, and that's why these companies are starting to kind of skim on resources just because of that. So I kind of see your point in that now.
That's what I was kind of alluding to earlier. T-Mobile is sort of almost selling at a loss in terms of the plans because all of the perks.
Yeah, the perks is really what's driving the price up, man. I mean, what literally is not driving the price up, but degrading the quality of customer care and stuff like that.
YouTube TV just went up, and they're paying for that.
Really, YouTube TV just went up?
Yeah, they just went up. I think it's 75, I believe.
Oh damn!
I'm like, yeah, I seen it because I have it on Fios. I get it in a bundle. So, I mean, it's almost just as expensive as cable. I mean, you're just not paying boxes and remotes at this point. So,
bro, that's why I never got into all that online streaming bullshit, bro.
Yeah, the contracts for these TV companies and the producers, are expensive. They're asking for more money. So, and YouTube TV is already selling at a loss. So,
Oh shit.
you see it?
EM saying disagree. The perks keep the consumer. I mean, it's true. I ain't lying, bro. But you ain't lying. But at the end of the day, back then, if you think about it, bro, customer service and just service in general was a lot better, just because they were actually making more revenue on the line access. So they were able to afford a U.S. rep and stuff like that. But of course, those days are over, so we can't go. We can't hope for something like that back because now everybody wants perks. It's all about the perk now.
Yeah, but honestly, I kind of see why they increased the pricing, but also it was an absolute asinine move on their part, T-Mobile's part. But
Bro, I really thought. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, especially with the price increases that we're seeing with these the perks, and I can see why they did that. They're losing money. I think like the codes that the T-Mobile reps put in, they're paying for them. It's expensive.
Oh shit. Hey, what up, Black G? I'm switching to T-Mobile. Oh man.
You're crazy,
Oh
man.
wow. You're crazy, bro.
Stay away, man. Don't. Might as well get on prepaid.
I mean, it's good to have it as a prepaid option. I mean, if it works, but after all them breaches, bro, I wouldn't trust giving them my information, even if they were offering me free service for a year, bro.
Shoot,
Hell
Sprint
no.
was more secure than them.
You ain't lying either, bro. You ain't lying. Bro, but what are they gonna do? The part about T-Mobile with the devices, bro. So as you were a Sprint customer, right, bro?
Yeah.
How has your experience changed with device financing now versus being on the T-Mobile side now than you did when you were on the Sprint side?
I still have the Sprint device planning. It hasn't changed, not one bit. I haven't transitioned over to anything at all.
Your billing is still Sprint billing?
Yeah, everything.
Oh, because there's people that have been migrated already, auto migrated.
No, I haven't.
And then they basically said that that they're having issues where they used to be able to qualify for that S20, that basic S23 with zero down. Now they got to pay they got to pay $199 down to get it or some shit like that plus tax.
And that's all because they're on the Sprint plan?
Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah, bro. Well, because T-Mobile's qualifying, on the device. Why do you think they said a free phone up to $830, bro? Because that's what they're doing. They're locking it. They have weird financing structures. So basically, like me, bro. I've been with T-Mobile business, dude, and I'm talking about business since 2014, bro. And how the hell do I still have a 4,250 finance limit? But I've been a 20-year customer or 23-year customer of Verizon, and I have $20,000, the highest they offer for consumer. And I can finance up to $2,500 per device if I wanted to. Versus T-Mobile, I'm stuck with $900. And just their financing doesn't make sense, and that's where a lot of the Sprint customers, ended up going to AT&T, bro. They actually went to AT&T, which was shocking.
Yeah. Where did you think they were going to go to Verizon?
Well, I just thought maybe they would have gotten some, by them threatening to leave, T-Mobile would have hooked them up or something.
I thought they would have gone straight to an MVNO.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah.
Not the AT&T, bro. But AT&T's been taking Sprint customers like crazy.
I mean, they got discounts, kind of like Sprint was doing. So, I mean, it's a win-win for them. They're on a better network. Not to say T-Mobile's network is like bad, but
It's
still,
grown.
Yeah, I'll give them that. The network's grown. I can definitely say that. But their strategy is just they don't think through it. What they just did, I mean, it's pure hypocrisy.
Damn. So we got Josh here.
Honestly,
he said N41's better than Ben 13.
I'm gonna honestly, I'm rooting for Dish. I'm definitely gonna root for them. They're gonna really need to innovate if T-Mobile's not gonna do it.
Well, bro, I mean, so far, I mean, on the network side, I mean, everything's looking pretty sharp on the network side. It's looking good, but a lot of people are mixed with the leadership, which it's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, the leadership has not been that solid. Put it that way. I'll be pretty. Actually, you know what? Screw it. It's been shit. It sucks. They promised people, credits, and they didn't fulfill. They didn't, fulfill with their end of the promise. It was a bunch of BS, man.
We back.
Yes, sir.
We back.
Yeah, we back, bro. Listen, I just want to give a shout out to peanut butter Oreos. I mean, straight up phenomenal. I just want to throw that out there.
What the hell?
Yes, sir. Peanut butter Oreos. Yes, sir.
Ugh, allergic.
Damn.
I'm so sorry to hear that. My goodness, bro, you're missing out.
Nah, man. I don't know how anybody can eat peanut butter like that.
Bro, I eat peanut butter everything.
It's crazy.
Bro, I put peanut butter in ice cream, peanut butter in jelly
ice cream,
sandwiches, peanut butter and carrots, bro, all things peanut butter, everything flavored peanut butter.
Eat it.
Peanut butter brownies. You know what I'm saying?
Do you eat it with the magenta thongs?
Bro, hold on a second, bro. See, this is what Obed, I thought we were friends, bro. Why you gotta take it there, man?
Jeez, bro.
Yeah. Thought we were better than that.
Wow, Sneeds.
This is why our people don't have anything, bro. Oh.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
You got the magenta panties stuck on the side, huh?
You know it's crazy, Obed. Every time I do a video speaking nicely about something that a company does, let's say like T-Mobile does something awesome with the network, right?
Yeah.
There'll be a comment in the comment section. Yo, Sneeds a thong. Sneeds a T-Mobile shill, right? And then I'll do an AT&T video, and it's like, AT&T did something tremendous with the network or a promotion or something or fiber. Yo, Sneed, I think this dude works for AT&T, bro. This dude's always talking good about AT&T. And then like the next day, I'll do a video on Verizon. How Verizon like built out Fios or fixed wireless access hit like, another 10 million people or something. And I'll talk about how great it is. Man, he works for Verizon. It's like, what the hell, bro? I'm not even lying. It happens all the time, bro. So I've been called a T-Mobile thong. I've been called the red panty night. I've been called the blue Speedo. I've been called all of it.
Yeah, where's the paycheck at, bro? Shit, man.
Yeah.
I need a paycheck too.
You need a paycheck every time someone says that.
Yo, that's Blue Tech straight up, bro. I don't do lattes. I drink coffee straight up black.
Yeah.
Unadulterated, bro. No creamer, no sugar, just straight up black.
Nope. Exactly, bro. I can't do those espressos and all that.
Putting a little sugar in it's cool, bro, but like the creamer just takes out the bite.
Yeah, bro, it does, bro. This is what I've been saying, bro.
The one thing I want to give one shout out. I want to give a shout out to Neville Ray.
Okay.
Oh God.
Go ahead.
He has had a good career.
Mm-hmm.
He did start off building off the T-Mobile network with macros. That's why T-Mobile is dense in some places, not all of them. So I just want to give a shout out to him.
Yeah, he put in time, man. He really did leave his imprint on the network and the company. You know. Oh, big shout out to Ricardo. He said that they're going to be working with all the team members to figure out the new rate plans and see how they'll affect
man.
free lines. Now, listen, Ricardo, I want to throw this out. Ricardo. They're going to have to train you guys on how to tell customers, like how to sell these lines to customers, right? Because you're basically trying to sell something that costs more, right? It's replacing, well, not replacing yet. We don't know, for sure, but they're more expensive.
It's still online.
So they're going to say, what's new about it? What's better? You're charging me an extra $5 a line. Well, what makes it better, right?
Sneed, one thing.
Big
What if the person wants to switch to a newer plan? This is what I didn't think of. They want to switch to that newer plan to get the new promotions. But what about the free lines that they have? Let's say they got 7
convert.
free lines.
They say they convert.
You sure?
Yeah, they're saying they convert, man. Somebody very close to the community, Chanel, Lawrence, he checked in. He said they convert. Big shout out to EM Tech. Thanks for the super chat. And, oh, man. Since T-Mobile acquired Mint, they didn't acquire him yet, sir. Excuse me. They did not do it yet. All right. So technically, I'm not a Magenta Thong. Thank you. John Sell will make T-Mobile great again. You think so, Carlos? John Sell will make him great again?
Not with that capex. It's hard to say.
Let me bring Bryant. Bryant, you still there?
Oh, I'm here. I'm listening.
What do you think the capex needs to go to make T-Mobile more competitive with respect to the network, like in terms of the densification process, in terms of the small cell grid, a dedication of some millimeter wave, which in my opinion they need in some really big metros. Where do you think it needs to be? You think it's just a couple of billion off? Do you think they're far off? What do you think?
They got to get in line with where AT&T and Verizon are. Verizon is generally 17, 18 billion. AT&T is normally somewhere close to that as well. I mean, they got to get there. You can't let your competition outspend you. When it comes to networking, smart people are needed. Yes, absolutely. But the business of telecommunications is very capex sensitive. And because of that, smart people alone aren't going to get you where you need to go. You got to build. And after you build, you got to keep it working. Radios go out all the time. There are floods. There's high winds. There's tornadoes. There's hurricanes that are happening at scale all the time across the United States. That is taxing the actual infrastructure of the telecommunication grid. You've got to keep that stuff working.
Yeah, but that would mean their capex would have to double. They're at like $9 billion this year.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It needs to double. Yes, just to keep pace with everybody else. Yes,
but they haven't even consecutive years produced free cash flow positive.
Which is why I don't understand why the market seems to love them so much and why consumers seem to swear by them. I don't get it. They're already showing kinks in their armor. They can't keep their network secure. They keep having issues as far as with, outages and all this other crap. I mean, kinks in the armor are already there, Sneed.
The thing, Sneed, about it is think about when you're building small cells, our small cells or C-RANs of the world and stuff. You have to think about this too, bro, is that it costs more, bro, at the end, because now you're going to have to you have to pay these municipalities to dig up, and run fiber, bro. They got to have their own dedicated fiber. So, and remember who owns fiber and who doesn't.
Yeah, I know. Darren, this is what we've been saying all show. They're recycling old ideas and then rebranding it as, Thong Thursday and Uncarrier event.
Think about it, Sneed. Doesn't this plan seem awfully familiar that you can add the plus up feature and all that, just like the T-Mobile One plan? Seems kind of familiar.
Huh? Everything is recycled. It ain't nothing new. And really, you know what this was about? Today was really just about shitting on AT&T. They really didn't do anything. They were just trying to shit on AT&T.
I think they found out AT&T was doing so good,
They wanted to raise the pricing, not just that. But also, guys, I agree. Their capex needs to go up to 15 to 16 billion.
I love that comment. Noel, you are my friend. I love it.
They can't afford them no more.
No, Comcast. Comcast is going to buy T-Mobile.
They can't afford them no more.
Why can't they? Behind the scenes, bro, you know T-Mobile's hurting. That's what they have to raise the price.
How much is T-Mobile
I don't
worth?
think they're hurting. They're doing better today than they were before.
Well, yeah, that's true. But they're still hurting. They know that in order to keep up with this network build and do what they have to do to compare with the other two,
T-Mobile is worth
they're strapped.
$179 billion. Where is Comcast going to find that money?
They have it. Look it up. Look at the free cash flow.
You said Comcast?
Yeah, Comcast buying T-Mobile.
T-Mobile is worth more than Comcast combined, even with the assets they have.
Yeah, but those cable companies don't have any debt, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And they generate a lot of free cash flow. I'm not saying that they're going to buy T-Mobile. I'm saying that there are strategic corporate moves that these big cable companies can make.
But yeah, again, T-Mobile needs at least $15 billion for them to at least actually build a great, decent network.
I think what's really incredible about AT&T and Verizon, their spending is so high they can upgrade all the country's macros and build out small cells at the same time every year. It's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah. Like Cleveland's macro grid is done. It's upgraded basically. It's like 95% upgraded. I only find a site occasionally that doesn't have N77 and CBRS on it. Like they've upgraded so much. Now they're going to move to small cells. And during
that's where T-Mobile's going to get killed.
And during the AWS build, Verizon, finished the macros mostly like 90%, and then they started doing small cells all over the place. It was pretty wild to see how they did it. And then they came back and did the small cells again when they got more spectrum, right? When they did AWS after Band 13. They really do invest heavily into the network, man. They really do. I know there's parts of rural America that have gotten old, but they're upgrading those now as well. And in a rural area, you're going to have 200 megahertz of spectrum on air. What else could you need? Can't complain about Band 13 anymore. If you get a full monetization from Verizon, right?
People still complain, bro.
But think about it, Carlos. If you're in rural America right now and AT&T upgrades your tower, T-Mobile upgrades your tower, and Verizon upgrades your tower, you're in rural America, you got 600-700 megahertz of spectrum on air on that tower site in all low band and mid band. And let's say you're like 2 miles from the site. You're getting all frequencies to you. You could choose your fixed wireless access provider. You could choose your mobile provider. You can do it on price. You don't have to worry about like performance. I mean, this is all that's happened in like the last few years.
I mean, bro, you still got people complaining about just the simple thing about, even though my site, got upgraded to N77, it's only getting 400 while T-Mobile's getting a gig. But we've seen even community members come, to our cities, bro, and then they're telling us how, and then they report back to us like, damn, bro, T-Mobile sucks, bro. Even though it shows fast speed test, I'm still dropping calls. I'm still, dropping data packets.
Oh, we saw
something takes forever to load.
We saw the root metrics report. There's still markets where calling is an issue.
Bro, like look at Oceanic Vibes, bro. He was just here from Albuquerque, bro.
The only place where T-Mobile has a good calling is Chicago.
I wonder why Chicago.
Because Sprint had a dense network.
Okay. Gotcha.
They kept a lot of those rooftop small cells and macros there, and T-Mobile built a lot of macros.
You're in the New England market there, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
How was Sprint there?
It was okay. It was okay. Not bad. AT&T has the best network. Well, it's a toss-up between AT&T and Verizon. T-Mobile's the fastest, of course, but Sprint was okay. They were still in last place though. I mean, T-Mobile was better than them.
Everybody was using Sprint because of the pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the network.
Yeah. But
I tried to tell Carlos that, man. He's just not hearing me, dog.
Yeah.
What?
But in the
People
city,
chose Sprint on
fine.
pricing. They didn't choose him on the network.
I mean, yeah, in the urban core, it was great. It wasn't bad. But inside the house, it's slow. Like, it was garbage.
Well, all I know, bro, is Sprint were good here. They had small cells. They had 41 small cells, too, to be exact. And then when T-Mobile took over, they shut it all down, bro. Shut it down. They're not even using them, bro. Those small cells, they actually took them down. I was surprised. So
It's sad because there's a lot of keep sites and small cells people could use, and they shut them down for absolutely no reason.
You guys think when T-Mobile starts their small cell build, they're going to have all their frequencies on those radios? N41, N77, N71, N25.
I don't think they're going to put low band on it.
No.
Yeah, I don't
So
see
the
low
N25,
band
the band 2, so all the PCS, AWS, BRS.
Yeah.
So you think they'll do the N77 though, because they do have DoD and C-band.
I think they'll do it, but it'll be a slow build.
Yeah.
Like 3 to 5 years.
Maybe not that. Maybe not that slow. Maybe 2 to 4. But I mean, slower than Verizon and AT&T are building right now. That's for sure.
Well,
They just don't
Verizon
have
and AT&T already have small cells in a very substantial way.
Very true. But they also have the capex to do those things. We're only talking about 9 and 10 billion that these guys are spending. There's no way they can roll out DoD right now. They're not even finished with their N41.
This year is their last big year. This year is their last big year at like 11 or 13 billion. I forget which one it was. They're moving to 9 billion starting next year, I think.
You said how much do you?
11 or 13. I forget the number.
Okay.
It's their last big year, right? And they're probably hoping to get 5G UC, give or take 300 million pops.
Yeah.
Which would be incredible if they did pull it off, because that's the hard part is rural. Where a county gets like 5 tower sites, and it stretches over miles and miles and miles. And I hope people understand. I don't mind that T-Mobile has ambitions. I don't mind that they want to do what's best for their corporation and what's best for the network. And I don't mind those things, but I think the whole Uncarrier thing has to stop. That's really, I just want to make sure I make that point very clear. I want to make it abundantly clear. The Uncarrier is dead. This is not that, right? That it has been gone. When John Ledger walked out of that boardroom with his hot coffee, didn't even get a sip out of it. When he left, he took the Uncarrier with him.
Yeah, he did. It's gone. They don't have anything Uncarrier anymore.
Obed, fixed wireless access is Uncarrier. Fixed wireless access is Uncarrier.
No, it's not.
Fees. Yes, it is. I'm going to tell you why.
I'm
going to tell you why.
It's not.
I'm going to tell you why. Yes,
it's not a new concept though. It's just another rewash.
They did it first, and then they offered a bundled discount with it. So I give them credit for doing that.
They didn't, Sneed. They didn't offer it first. Verizon's had the first fixed wireless access product.
Where'd they offer it to, though, Brian? These guys are doing
Verizon
it nationwide.
Verizon offered it to anybody who wanted it.
No,
they did. Like Sneed, I'm telling you,
it was never available. It was never available to me. It
was built to work off of the 700 megahertz frequency, which they had nationwide.
It was never available to me.
Oh, I know what you're talking. Hold on, I know what you're talking about.
Fixed wireless access isn't available everywhere now. Fixed wireless access isn't available everywhere now.
Fixed wireless access to every person in this country.
Hold on, Brian. You're talking about the ones that have the phone, right?
I understand, but they will sell people fixed wireless access in any place in this country.
Where they have service, right?
Yes.
So I agree with you. To your point, what I'm saying is fixed wireless access was not a new product that they came out with. It wasn't Uncarrier.
No, but a nationwide product, yes, it was.
I don't understand how that's Uncarrier. It's not a new
Uncarrier because nobody had done it yet.
I just gave you an example. I mean,
I could not call Verizon and get a fixed wireless access connection from them. That day never happened.
But Sneed, you can't get fixed wireless access from T-Mobile everywhere in the country yet either.
Yes, you can.
But they don't even have UC everywhere. If they're not covering 300 million pops yet, then you can't call it a nationwide product. Yeah, everybody doesn't have access to it.
It is nationwide once it gets over what 200 and some odd pops.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty
the FCC definition.
Okay, agreed. So I'm pretty sure that you had the ability, Verizon did, to market that product, Home Fusion, to 200 million customers, especially if it was only using 700 megahertz frequency. So
they never offered it to me. T-Mobile, you can literally call T-Mobile regardless of your address, and they will sell you fixed wireless access.
So because it's available everywhere, that makes it Uncarrier. Not that it's a new product, but because it's available everywhere. So you're saying the availability of it?
Yes, making it available to everybody. Right.
I disagree, but I understand your point. At least I respect your point. But it's still a recycled, uninnovative product because it's not new. It's not new.
Okay,
fixed wireless access is not. It's not a new. Fixed wireless access is not a new product. Okay, it's been around for a decade.
Tax and fees is Uncarrier.
Agreed. All the customer service stuff, all that hoopla, I give you to. You're right. But from a technological standpoint, they have not brought out anything innovative to the market. Fixed wireless access has been around for a long time. The only reason it hasn't been offered at scale is because no carrier, including Verizon, has ever had the spectrum to be able to reliably market it. That's why. Remember, Verizon only had 10 megs of 700 across the country. They still do. We've never seen a carrier, nobody in America has ever had these channels be this huge. I mean, we're talking about 161 at Verizon and 200. I mean, that's a lot. We're talking about contiguous too. This has never happened before. Like, this is history. We're living in a historic time. But fixed wireless access, the concept, it's not new, nor is the product. It's been available. It's been around.
Yeah, but
it's not.
Steve,
I don't know.
There was a product that was available at the time. I know look, I'm gonna share the screen and I'm gonna show you what it is, bro. Because I remember I used to have one myself.
Carlos, how many fixed wireless access subscribers does T-Mobile have?
I don't even know. I haven't kept up.
Tens of millions.
It's like 4 million.
Yeah, they got millions. So
it's like 4 million. So so I have proof. I have data. I have statistical numbers to prove that it was Uncarrier.
Because they sold more?
Yes.
But yo, Sneed, I just told you why. The reason isn't because...
Hold on. The definition of Uncarrier is addressing customer pain points. I can start checking off boxes right now if you like.
This is the product right here, Sneed. This is it right here. That used to be the Verizon Home Internet with home phone bundle. It used to be unlimited home internet.
A merger and acquisition is not innovation. It's not Uncarrier to get lucky and be allowed to purchase Sprint.
I agree with you on that, but you're moving the goalpost. I'm just talking about being able to offer a nationwide fixed wireless access connection where someone could legitimately use it as a home broadband solution.
I don't disagree with you there, Sneed. I agree with the concept being available, but they didn't do it.
Fixed wireless access has been going on for decades. People have been using point forever.
All they did was have more spectrum to be able to deploy it in more places reliably. 10 megahertz of any spectrum being used for home internet is not a viable product for home internet.
No,
that's the only reason why Home Fusion wasn't a nationwide product, to your point, Sneed. That's the only reason why. It wasn't because Verizon didn't want to or what. No, it wasn't.
They had limitations. I get it.
Nobody. But see, that's the thing. Nobody's ever had this amount of spectrum, and it's not like we're talking about, a spectrum auction and T-Mobile outbid. No, they just bought another company. That's not innovation. That's the same thing as Verizon purchasing TracFone.
That's Carrier. Yes, that's Carrier.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
what are we? So how is that Uncarrier? I don't understand. That's just a merger and acquisition. That's just business as usual in America.
Yeah, but they didn't
Companies
have
get
to
bought out
do
every
right,
time.
right. But they didn't have to do nationwide fixed wireless access, but they did.
Well,
And no carrier
that's
had
the
done it up
only
to that
use.
point.
That's the only valuable use case for 5G right now. So of course they're going to market that. They got all of this spectrum. They just purchased the company for $26 billion, and the only real cash cow that 5G has delivered thus far has been fixed wireless access at scale, only because of the huge amounts of spectrum, contiguous spectrum that's available now.
All right, Brian. I want you to be totally honest. You're not allowed to cap at all. Tell me the
All
truth,
right.
man.
Okay.
All right. Did T-Mobile force Verizon to move like there was a fire under their ass?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will never deny that.
I agree. I think that is, as much as I respect what Verizon does with the network, and I know that they strive for excellence, I do think there's a little bit extra going into what they're doing in their projects, knowing that the little guy is poking the bear.
That is an absolute truth, and I agree with you 1000%. But it's not because of customer service or because of taxes and fees or anything like that. It's because for the first time in our lives, a big telecommunications company was allowed to purchase another big telecommunications company. The last time it happened, many of us weren't even alive. Shoot, man, the Bell Atlantic GTE merger gave us
90...
Verizon, and they dominated for 2 decades. So that's the first time. This is the first time we've ever seen it really in our adult lifetime. And so now, because of that merger, you were able to build a company that had access to a contiguous amount of spectrum in the 200 plus megahertz amount. I mean, they got a huge amount of spectrum to use for the first time in American history. And it wasn't because they just outsmarted the government, man. That's not Uncarrier. They just got lucky. They got the right president at the right time and the right crazy. I mean, that's it.
Hold on, Brian. So I call it a 5G stimulus package. What do you call
That's
it?
exactly what it is. It was a stimulus package, and they got 2 of them because AT&T a few years earlier,
2011 one.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to do the exact same thing. AT&T tried to buy T-Mobile. The Obama administration said,
right? Metro?
Yeah, absolutely, because that gave them their first amount of low-band spectrum for them to be able to improve their LTE network, which was trash before that merger wasn't allowed to happen. So the Obama administration said, absolutely not. You're crazy. Not going to happen. The Trump administration came right back along and said, no, we are going to let it happen, but we're going to let it happen in reverse. We're going to let T-Mobile purchase Sprint. That's the only Uncarrier thing to happen, and that was as a result of Donald Trump and his guys. That wasn't because T-Mobile's this. No, they just got lucky twice, man. They just got lucky twice. That's it.
You think some of it had to do with the fact that SoftBank, the parent company of Sprint, is a Japanese company, and we kind of like maybe the regulators saw that things were going south on Sprint and like things were falling apart.
I mean,
I saw them becoming a regional 5G provider.
I don't think it was that so much as it was John Ledger was a mastermind at scaring the Trump administration, which is already hell-bent on outcompeting the world,
right?
Scaring them into thinking that China was going to outcompete us and outbuild us on 5G. That's what really made the merger go. That's what made it happen. The Trump administration was so hell-bent on continuing this whole America is better than everybody else, and because of that, they allowed this merger to happen, but it wasn't any sort of innovation on Ledger's part. He may have been innovative in customer service and taxes and fees and free lines, and that's great. But the fixed wireless access product is not new. Ledger and Sievert are former AT&T employees. Nothing that they are doing is new. Sneed, you say it yourself all the time. They are a little AT&T. Why?
They really are.
It makes a lot of sense. They used to work there.
Yes.
They used to work there. So they are taking products and ideals that have been test driven at the big companies and doing it again and covering it up as something else. And we're giving them credit for something that Donald Trump and his people allowed to happen. All they did was get lucky twice. And we're seeing it as we've been talking about it for 2 hours. What else is there? Are they going to merge? Are they going to be allowed to merge again and get another 1,000 megahertz? No, it's not happening again.
I think they're too big now. MS says, wasn't Verizon buying Altel a stimulus package? A little bit, but I mean, obviously they weren't a national provider, so it's a little bit different. Sprint was a national provider with almost 50 million subscribers.
Exactly.
Right.
Like
So
that's not even a.
You guys
it's not
know,
even a
like
good.
50 million subscribers is what? 15% market share of the country.
It's not even a
Right.
good comparison. Right? Altel was a regional carrier.
Yeah. That's my point exactly. Sprint was a
you're right,
national
man.
provider, and Altel was more regional. A big
I'm
regional provider, but still regional.
I'm not against mergers and acquisitions at all. I'm really not. Verizon companies do it all the time. I'm not against it, but that's not innovation. Mergers and acquisitions are companies pretty much saying, I don't have an answer, so I'm going to buy somebody else that's already got an answer, that's already got a customer base, so I don't have to organically grow one. I can go buy a customer base, and I can go buy a business
Verizon
model.
with TracFone, AT&T
Yes.
with Cricket, T-Mobile
Yes.
with Metro.
Yes.
You know, yeah, exactly.
Verizon didn't have an answer in the prepaid space, and they didn't want to take the time to create one, so they went and bought someone else's business model, and now they're the largest prepaid provider in the country. That's what M&As are. It's companies saying, I don't have an answer to this particular portion of the market, or I want to enter into this space, and I don't want to do it organically. I want to buy an access card. It's a bus pass. That's what it is. And so,
I personally think TracFone was cheap, man. $3 billion in cash and $3 billion in stock. I thought it was easy.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. For a company that made 16, 17, 18 billion in cash flow in a year.
Yeah, it's a great purchase. Great purchase. And if they would have bought Mint Mobile, that would have been an even better purchase. That's the reason why T-Mobile said no.
Brian, I truly believe that was Verizon in play as the competitor for
Absolutely it was. I mean, it wasn't a secret. The chief strategy officer talked about it at the at the Davos event, the World Economic Forum event. She was asked the question, "Hey, what are your thoughts about purchasing Mint?" And she didn't say, "Oh no." She said what most corporate people say.
I made my video even before that video.
Yeah, you did.
I just put the pieces together. It seems like it made sense. Like AT&T didn't make sense. Verizon made sense.
Yep. AT&T doesn't have the capital, but Verizon sure does, and it would have been a very, very smart purchase. And I bet you your bottom dollar, if Verizon would have made that offer, all of a sudden Ryan Reynolds is selling Verizon service, not just Mint Mobile. He's the new face of the brand, because that's really what Verizon needs. They just need a new brand. They need a new face. Capital One has
brother Tana. What up?
Yeah, man. Capital One has Samuel L. Jackson. Mint Mobile has Ryan Reynolds. Verizon needs a face to go to stand up to the market and say, this is who we are. This is what we want to do. This is why you should do business with us. You got to get somebody likable. Got to get somebody with some charisma that makes people laugh, that people like across multiple, ages and cultures and races and demographics and things of that nature. And you got to put them on the TV as much as humanly possible. That's what Verizon needs: a marketing guy or a marketing girl. That's it. That's all
Tana,
Verizon's really missing.
Tana, it's 420. You smoking them things, bro? What you up to, bro? Yeah. S Blue Tech says Verizon's strategy might be to just sell premium plans directly to consumers, and prepaid and lower cost plans can go to big cable and prepaid running on the Verizon network. I think that's kind of what it's going to be.
That's kind of what it's planning out to be. Because
tech guy is saying that they should consolidate the prepaid brands, kind of offer some stability.
Maybe not. I'm not sure that's a requirement. I mean, TracFone got the amount of customers that they did, and they had multiple brands, and it worked just fine for them. So I don't think that's a requirement.
There's probably some brands that just don't need to really be a thing anymore, right?
Yeah, I would say get rid of the dead weight, but I don't think you need to go to just one brand. No, I don't think you need to do that at all.
No, I think you can do what TracFone did, which was market certain brands to certain customer segments.
Yeah, absolutely. But the biggest thing for Verizon is getting the customer traffic on their prepaid brands for TracFone off of the AT&T and T-Mobile networks, getting them onto the Verizon networks natively. That saves a ton of money. Then from there, you just focus on branding. Just focus on selling. That's what you got to do. Put your stuff in the Walmart stores, put your stuff in the Target stores, put your stuff in the Best Buy stores, and that's that. You don't have
You know
to
what?
use prepaid to grow your entire company. We just gave AT&T kudos and props for adding 40,000 prepaid lines in the first quarter. So we're not. I don't think anybody's looking for prepaid to be a growth engine. It is a defense mechanism against what could come. That's what it is.
Well,
In case things,
Big Cable is here.
yeah,
Big
absolutely.
Cable is here.
And who are they doing business with?
They are taking their shit. They're doing big. They're doing biz with Big Red, bro.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, there are some smart things going on at Verizon. Hans is not doing a horrible job. He's not. People. I mean, it is what it is. He's doing. It is what it is. But there's some good things going on there. Same thing at AT&T. They had a good quarter this year, man. Like
They did.
quarter, they had a good quarter. Hats off to Stanky. Hats off to what he's doing for that company. They're hitting on a lot of things, and they're doing it. Think about it, Sneak. They're doing it without even having as much spectrum as Verizon and T-Mobile. They're doing well. They're growing. In the first quarter, you had 400,000 new. Like, that's crazy for the first quarter.
Damn, and here Brian rooting for AT&T in the first quarter. Wow,
Hey, man, I'm just trying to be objective, guys. I'm just trying to be objective, guys. Come on, I'm just trying to be objective. It is what it is. It is what it is. They had a good quarter. I was shocked to see them. I mean, they did like 270,000 fiber lines as well.
I gotta know something, Brian. We're gonna ask you a question. I mean, because you've just recently come around and kicked it with us on the panel. But who is your favorite CEO of all time? Because we have some. Like if I ask Carlos, I know he's got one. If I ask him who's his least favorite, who's the worst CEO of all time, like in your opinion, because you've been in the game a minute, all right, who is the best CEO of all time,
Regardless of industry.
Let's keep it in the industry.
In the industry,
is it recent or is it a throwback? Is it somebody from yesteryear or is it somebody more recent?
I'm gonna go with. So for me, it's not recent.
Okay.
But it's within the last 25 years. So I'm gonna go with Ivan Seidenberg, man. I'm gonna go with Ivan.
Really?
And I'm gonna go with Ivan, man. I'm gonna go with Ivan.
Really?
Yes, I'm gonna go with Ivan.
All right.
And
okay.
So you want to know why?
Yeah, I do.
He was the one who said to the industry, fiber is the future. And I'm going to deploy it at scale. And I'm going to start at fiber to the prim. He is the godfather of fiber to the prim. He is, man. Everybody called Verizon crazy and said, there's no way anybody's going to buy this. It's too expensive for you to build and for consumers to buy. And he looked at him and said, okay. He innovated the Fios brand. Next thing you know, fast forward to 2023 and fiber's everywhere. Everybody's trying to get in the fiber game. Ivan is my guy. I'm a technology guy. I don't want to say I don't care about customer service or pricing or any of that, but it all starts with the actual product itself. The product itself is the connectivity. And there is no faster way from point A to point B than going at the speed of light. And you build at the speed of light via fiber. And Ivan is the one who said, I'm going to deploy this at scale, and I'm going to do it at a price that's affordable to the consumer. And he's the one that started all this fiber. My guys, my pick is Ivan. What's your guys' pick?
My favorite CEO ever was Dan Hesse.
Okay, so why Dan? Why Dan?
I think Dan Hesse has really good business philosophy. I as an outsider, I kind of like his leadership characteristics or qualities. He had the potential. He almost did it. Turnaround Sprint, which was absolutely falling apart. But SoftBank pulled the plug on his revival too soon. I really think he was going to save Sprint. He was innovating customer care. He was innovating within like the cellular space with unlimited data, and he was good with business. I mean, he was a really good CEO. In fact, he probably taught John Legere everything that John Legere did. That's real talk. So if your favorite CEO was John, that means you would appreciate the philosophies and acumen and the chops of Dan Hesse. Now, the worst CEO ever, I think, is a slam dunk. I think it's Gary Forsey. You know, making the deal to purchase Nextel at Sprint. That literally set the company back like 10 years, 15 years.
It didn't make technology sense. Trying to combine those two technologies, it just didn't work. It just didn't work.
Marcelo was a pretty shitty CEO too. He was literally just gaming the system.
He was not good.
He was literally a fool. So like, and he played everybody every step of the way.
Yeah,
everybody at SoftBank at least. He even played SoftBank after Sprint, staying on as a board member and shit. It was crazy.
Yeah,
he literally milked the game for what it's worth, bro. He literally stole from SoftBank for like 8 years. I would say either him, I guess maybe Randall Stevenson. The dude was a loser.
Yeah,
he was literally, that was greed defined.
He wasn't horrible.
Yes, he was.
I understand why he was doing what he was doing.
It was greed defined.
But
he literally wanted to corner the entertainment market. He said, we're going to own TV.
Yeah,
we have home internet. We have wireless. We're just going to get everything. And
but that's
not
the
only
thing.
just regular TV, but even like the direct TV, like satellite. He just wanted everything.
But Sneed,
the reason set the company back, and because of that, we got a lesser version of AT&T's wireless network. And
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's a fair assessment, and I agree with you. But I understand why Stevenson did what he did. He saw the issue with the telecommunications industry the same as most people who've been in that industry for a long time see.
There's no problem with the mobile industry. You tell me what industry has 100 million subscribers that pay their bill every month 12 times a year. There's no problem with the wireless industry.
I'm not telling you that there's a problem with it, but there is a problem with it. I'm not saying that you go broke here. I'm saying that when you're trying to measure it against other companies, when you're talking about stock pricing and things of that nature, there is very little growth in the telecommunications industry. And what I mean by that is profitability. They're just like VDOT or whatever Department of Transportation your state operates. It's like that. They build great roads and these things are outstanding, but the benefit of the road is the cars that are on it. And it's the Netflixes and the Apple Music and the Facebook and the Googles that have made all of this money off the backs of LTE, for example. So Stevenson saw what a lot of industry executives have seen, that they were frustrated, and we want to try to make some money off of what's going through the pipe, because the guys who are making money off of what's going through the pipe, their companies have trillions of dollars, like Apple, for example. Like they're worth trillions, and we're talking about Verizon and 100 million customers. Man, Apple makes way more than Verizon and AT&T combined.
Let's do perspective here. The average family spends how much money on groceries a month?
I'd say probably $300. I'm gonna say on average $300. Am I wrong? Am I off?
I don't know. I'm guessing it's probably around there. Let's call it 300.
Okay.
The margins at a grocery store are at 20%. 20%.
Mm-hmm.
That's $20 for every 100. That's $60 a month. AT&T and Verizon's ARPU is $60 a month. They make the same amount as a grocery store. And that is a frequent place of purchase. This is my point. It's a good business, or else they would have shut it down and sold out already.
You're not wrong, Sneed. I agree with you 1,000%.
It's as reliable as anything, and you don't have to shelf anything, right? Like what? Some phones at a warehouse.
You're right,
and they've downsized, and then they started doing lockers and pickups and shipping. They've literally made it easier every step of the way. They've adjusted just fine.
I don't disagree with you, Sneed. But at the same time, when you think about when you talk about the innovative things that have happened with as far as over the top solutions, like I said, Netflix, YouTube with the Google stuff, you got Spotify and all these other things, over the top solutions, that money is on the backs of the telecommunications industries. Like, it's a lot of money. Again, I'm point back to Apple, which is $1 trillion brand that made all of their money off the backs essentially of AT&T and Verizon. And so if I'm Randall Stevenson, I'm saying, well, shoot, how can I get in the content game? Because that's the over the top solution that's making all the money.
He
So
literally
Verizon,
set back AT&T for 20 years.
I don't disagree with you. You're not wrong about that. That is an accurate assessment, and I completely agree. You're right. But I understand why he did it. The market was behind him when he made those investments. And the market was behind them so much
Listen,
that they also
you're
said,
gonna
well, Verizon, what are you going to do? And
you're
that's
gonna
when
make
Verizon said, yo, we're going to purchase Yahoo and AOL as well, because they try to get into the although not as much, they try to get into the content game as well, because the market said, this is what you need to do. And everybody's selling them now and saying they're bad, but the market wanted them to do what they did. They applauded Stevenson for being innovative at the time in order to try to make money off of what's going through the pipe, because everyone said, now that you've developed these great networks, you're not making any money on what's going through the pipe, dude. All the money is going to Apple. All the money is going to all this company and this company and this company, all the over the top solutions. That's the reason why they tried to become a content provider, because they wanted to own the pipe and the water going through the pipe, just like you said, Sneed. And people can call that greedy, but he was just trying to do what the investor said that he should. That's all. And it just didn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work when you take a gamble and it doesn't work. And he's paying the price. He paid the price. He's out, and his company's paying the price right now. I get it, and I understand 100%. But I understand why he did it, because every industry executive that's worth their salt has been thinking about doing the exact same thing for X amount of years, and they either didn't have the capital or they didn't have the balls to do it. And Stevenson did. I give him credit. It didn't work, but I understand why he tried.
Hey, Obed, appreciate you coming on the show tonight, man. I didn't know if you wanted to make any closing remarks or jump back in. Maybe
Obed. Man. I'm watching the game right now. Philly's getting smoked. Harden just got ejected, yo.
What?
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Well, he's gonna go to the club after, so he don't care, bro.
This game is wild right now. But yeah, I mean, shame on T-Mobile. Terrible move. I thought they should have just kept these plans in the closet. The branding, in terms of the naming of these plans, were absolutely atrocious. More so like a T-Mobile One plan, but worse. And listen, man, what T-Mobile really needs, they need to increase their capex. It needs to go to $15 billion. If they want to build out something decent and something they can maintain going forward, especially with John Saw coming in, it's going to need more capital. So until then, you know, they're going to continue to be behind the competition. Not as bad, but like I said, they're going to need more capital. But, you know, I appreciate you guys for letting me come on.
No problem, Obed. We'll see you soon, okay? All right. Carlos, you still there?
Yeah.
Any closing remarks, sir?
Same old bullshit, bro. That's all I'm going to say. Same old bullshit from the Wolf tickets, bro. What's new?
Oh, man. Can I get indeed. A hashtag Wolf tickets, bro? Can we start that hashtag?
Hashtag pink dogs and Wolf tickets.
Yeah, hit me with your favorite hashtag. Brian, thanks for coming on the show, man. Any closing remarks, bro?
Yeah, man, I really appreciate you. As always, Sneed, allowing me on. Carlos, Obed, I appreciate everybody. Obed, thank you. Biggest thing I really would want to say is I just appreciate the time that we're in right now. We're seeing a ton of innovation in the technology space as it relates to telecommunications. The fact that we're seeing gigabit speeds, I never thought in my life I'd see anything like this. And I'm really going to enjoy what the developers are going to, trying to build, what they're going to be trying to build over top of all this connectivity. We're living in a really good time. This stuff is starting to be readily, available at scale to the masses, and it's being made available at affordable prices, which is good for everybody. It's helping to even level the playing field, which is great for everybody, great for the country as a whole. It's an exciting time, and I hope people really are appreciative of where we are right now as a country as it relates to connectivity. A lot of money being poured into this space by our government and also by private industry as well, and that's a good thing. It's about time. So I'm really thankful for that, and I'm hopeful that people use this connectivity to build the next, the next wonders of tomorrow. Really, really good time.
Thanks to everybody, man. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, Brian, Obed, Carlos. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Everybody in the live chat, all the super chats, all my moderators, all my viewers, subscribers, members, Patreon supporters, y'all the goats. Do check out some of the stuff that's going on with the channel. We've got a couple of things happening. One thing that you could do if you want to support us is you can support us directly with the Buy Me a Coffee link. The link is in the description. You can get me a coffee or 2 or 3 or whatever. Keep the SMT caffeinated and motivated. You guys know I love the cafe. And also, if you're looking for a great deal on wireless service, you can get it from our partner, Mint Mobile. The partner link is in the description. They just increased all the data on all the plans without changing pricing, unlike some other carrier that we know, right? So they're going to give you more data. They're going to charge you the same amount of money. So great deals. Use the partner link. It's in the description. We're proud to say that we're partnered with Mint Mobile that can give you a great value and deliver excellent customer care. And you guys know I stand by that. All right, but that's it. We out this piece. Peace.
Peace.